What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode here of NFT Pirates. Thanks for, taking the time out of your Thursday night to come hang with me. For some of you, this is the morning. For some of you, it's late at night. But yeah, really, really excited to be here today with all of you and just to be able to discuss all these critical things that we need to talk about regarding Veve. So this is going to be a really, really good conversation and basically be able to, get everybody to look at all the major things, which I'm going to show you now, that I want to talk about. So this is our agenda. So I wanted to talk about the in real life exclusive covers. I wanted to talk about the macro collecting strategy that I have. I wanted to talk about saturation over the long term. I wanted to talk about the app updates. I wanted to talk about Corey's videos that he's just been putting out, the new branding, interoperability, crypto pay-in, what you should be collecting, master collector program, the terms of reference, GoChain / metadata, physical collecting and how that's evolving, and whether or not we think that's going to get even more parabolic as time goes on, or whether we think digital is going to kind of take over. I want to talk about social capital, Veveverse, if these NFTs that we have are really FA, and if they are as significant as we think they are. And give you more examples as to why I think influencers have left, and then how we're going to get to mass adoption, and then the money transfer license. And a few people have been asking me too about taxes and stuff like that, so might talk about a few other things as well in this. And if there's any questions that you have or things that you think we should discuss through this, please feel free to throw them in the chat. Basically, I just want to give you all my opinion today on everything. And I just also want to reiterate, obviously, I'm not affiliated with Veve. I'm not associated with them in any way. So I don't have, the back end of what's happening. I just really want to be able to share some insight. Obviously, you guys know how many people I've interviewed. I've probably interviewed at least 60, 70 people. And a lot of them are extremely intelligent. So I'm basically just like taking all the points they've given to me. I'm obviously really ingrained in the community, like the Veve Army chat on Discord and all the different chats. I'm on Twitter all the time. So I've learned a lot from all of you. And I want to kind of give you like the major updates across the board in all these different facets. I also wanted to take, a moment to just thank everybody for being here. I've got Stan here. I've got Bioshock. I've got Corey, my boy here, who actually just got me, where is it here? Yeah, this guy here, the Batman Who Laughs statue. Big kudos to you. Bill's here. So this is gonna be, it's gonna be a good time. So Steve-O, what's up, buddy? So yeah, so like I said, like let's want to, get right into the points, some of the major updates. And let's just start off by going back to this checklist here. So the first thing I want to talk about is the in real life exclusive covers. So what's cool about that is everybody was talking about how, 2 or 3 of the comics, let's say on Black Panther first appearance, FF52, there was 3 comics that Veve brought to the table, or even 4 that were like completely brand new, with 2 being kind of, redesigned, right? And they do this on so many different covers. And the issue is like, well, the thing that people were talking about is like, hey, we should be able to have some in real life comics like this that we can just, if we bought it on Veve, maybe we get one sent in the mail or something like that, right? And a lot of people were saying, well, no, that would just be like, adding more, physical prints into existence. It would just dilute, the value of these comic books already. But what I was saying is like, if we only had, let's say 500 or 1,000 of these Veve exclusive covers be printed, how fucking cool would that be if all of a sudden you can order them, or if you bought the right one, or if there was like a lottery and you can get one of them, right? I just think that would add a lot of value, especially if like only comic book stores had them and you had to go in and buy them. I just think a lot of people, would want to go and purchase them. So I think, any incentive that Veve can create like that to a lot of these physical collectors, I think would be a huge advantage, because who wouldn't want, Fantastic Four 52 first appearance of Black Panther, some kind of exclusive cover, right? I think that would just be like a wicked idea. So I just wanted to share that. And, just again, some of the people on Twitter kind of shared that as well. We kind of refined that idea, but we think that's pretty cool. And a lot of people are agreeing, smash that like button. Thank you to Machine. Bill, yeah, I'm big on rare covers, the exclusive art. Great idea. Perfect. All right, so let's get back into the next bullet item here. So macro collecting strategy. So what I mean by that is, we're going to have so many NFTs be dropped on Veve. We already have 8 million NFTs right now, right? In the future, we might have 40 million, 50 million, even maybe 100 million NFTs. And all these people want to collect this shiny new toy. But when you look in history and in like 10, 15 years from now, when people, are looking back in time, what's up, man? Thanks. Thanks for that, Steve. When people are looking back in time, they're not going to see all these little tiny NFTs or things that don't matter as much. They're going to look for, hey, what was Marvel's first NFT again? Hey, what was the first Marvel comic on the blockchain? Hey, what was the most popular scarce variant of Spider-Man? All these things are what people are going to look back on. And you see it across the board in comic books, right? AF-15 as an example, first appearance of Spider-Man, high grades, 3.6 million. Anything that's super scarce, popular, really does well, of major characters. And I believe it's going to be something, similar on the blockchain. So that's why my strategy, and from everybody that I've heard, has always been macro, macro, macro. Again, if you have a fandom and you're interested in some of these things where you're like, oh, well, I really like Lumpy Space Princess, then of course, you go out there and get it if that's what matters to you. But I just think if anybody, again, not financial advice, but in terms of like the highest ROI possible, you're looking at scarcity, popularity, and really identifying something that has a lot of historical significance. So all those three things combined together, I think really make something pop. Man, so many cool comments in here. So I've got Masnak75, great idea. It'd be even better if Marvel were to mention that there are additional variants available as digital collectible assets. I agree with that. We got another comment here, just throwing up the pirate flag. Thank you, Death Bunny. Carl's giving me some claps, round of applause. I appreciate that. Bill, there's got to be something in the works for that. They're paying their artists for making custom designs. I agree, man. And yeah, True Junkie says, let's go with those thumbs up. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, guys. All right, so that's kind of like, two major things I just wanted to cover. And now I'm just going to kind of go back here to this list. The next thing is the saturation effect. So what I mean by that is when we saw the all-time high in, I believe it was February for all of the Veve NFTs, what was going on was that, we didn't have that much supply of NFTs. We had a ton of demand. And then on top of that, we had obviously, the bad gems. We had gems that were going at a discount, and we were in a closed ecosystem, so people couldn't cash out. So all of that propagated the value up like exponentially. Plus, it was a bull cycle. Plus, all these things, we just got a stimulus from the government. Like, so all these things added up to this perfect recipe where people were making crazy amounts of money. And I think a lot of us, including myself, were thinking, okay, that's it. We're the next Bored Apes. Like, Veve is going to be the next thing that runs the world, and like everybody's going to start coming in. And so a lot of people, didn't take profits. They weren't selling their Todds at 14K. They weren't selling their wallets at, 48,000, or their Spider-Man Secret Rare at 100,000. And what's interesting about that is, when you look back, you're like, damn, if only I took those profits. But I do think that it's going to be exceptionally difficult for us to get back to those all-time highs. Not only because obviously the ecosystem's been cleaned up, whereas a cash out, we're in a bear market, but at the same time, there's more and more NFTs being minted, meaning that when we go back to February, we would literally need almost twice as many people as we had then just to uphold the similar prices. Because you got to remember, more and more NFTs are being minted, right? And so even with more people coming in, there's more choice, there's more variance. And, Spider-Man Secret Rare, like somebody might not be able to get into that, and they have maybe 15, 20 other options now that they could still kind of hold that collectible. So my point is like, I think it'll be difficult. Maybe with interoperability and things like that, it might change. But I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. And I'm not saying that it can't happen. Anything's possible. And, let's see, this is why I'm glad I have you guys in the comments here. So Stan just says, will localization solve that? Exactly. Veve's golden goose is mass adoption. If we get mass adoption, that's where really things are going to start to kick off and go crazy. And maybe localization is going to be a big part of that. I was just listening to a Twitter space with a kid called Beast. Great new project, already doubled it. I had like a 1.3 ETH floor yesterday. I think it's like 0.8 now. But they had a person there, either Japan or from either Japan or China, and they bought into the project, and they were asking questions in English and then translating it to Chinese. and all these different people that were Chinese were in the chat, like listening, right? And all of a sudden they were learning about that project, and potentially that helped move floors because now you just have, another person, another fandom, another whole chapter of people looking into this project. And we got to remember, China and India have a 1.4 billion population each. Here we are in the States, 340 million. Canada's 38 million. Australia is around the same as Canada. And so, we got to really start thinking about localization. So Stan, I agree. That's a great point. What if Veve were to go back to the first couple comics? Yeah, I think that'd be amazing, right? If we can start thinking about Marvel #1 and all that stuff, right? Bull market's coming through, end of year things will be looking up. Exactly, elbow cough. I agree. I think we're just in a rough patch right now. Obviously, the whole thing with the SEC today too, and crypto and potentially not allowing staking, that obviously hit us again hard. But we're gonna keep pushing through, man. One more Fed increase and we should be smooth sailing. I agree. And just need Ray back in 50K Pride incoming. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Think about just the few amount of whales like Ray Fixie, you know what I mean, Dr. Profit, and a few other ones that literally were such a massive part of the ecosystem. Even Lewis Morgan coming in here, helping kind of tear things up as well. Imagine having 100, 150 of these whales coming in, and now you only have these, AF15 SRs limited to 250. Where do you think the price point can go, right? So that's why, again, I go back to that macro collecting. It's probably not what Veve wants to hear, but again, in my opinion, it's not financial advice, but that's just something that I think about. I've seen it in Pokemon. I've seen it in so many other things. If I was just, turning all my money into Charizards and collecting those back in the day, or really scarce variants a Gold Star Charizard as an example, and just collecting high grades of those, man, I would have been in a much better place. But instead, I was trying to complete sets and all of this stuff. Now, I'm going to get into this later. Master Collector Program could change that. But, again, that's just kind of what I've learned from my physical collecting, and I apply the same thing to the NFTs. Need Lambo. I totally agree. We do need Lambo, man. So I'm going to go back to my list here. So the new app update, so super interesting. I think it looks good. It's smoother. Obviously, we can all see how long we've been here. We'll likely have a really cool badge next to our name if we've been here for a certain amount of time. And one thing that really stuck out to me is the artist tab that says, most people, it says 0, including myself. But a lot of whales, I believe, are going to want to have at least one artwork, one of one artwork in that tab. So I think, it might be a battle for the whales and kind of a really cool way to kind of flex. And the other cool thing is that we obviously saw the merge accounts finally go through, which is a really, really good thing. And yeah, so I think it's positive. How many more new users will come in from Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon? I literally think that if that happened, Logan Paul, for sure, Lewis Morgan, so many damn people would just come in and probably stay. And my whole strategy here has been that if we have so many people coming in, it's going to be so hard to get these Pokemon drops because, maybe they're only going to have 50,000 editions with 2 million people wanting them, that I would honestly, obviously I'll try to snipe and do some things or participate in the drop, but I don't know if I'd buy it on the secondary because I feel like it would go so high right away that I would almost be buying other important things because I feel like that money from Pokemon might cycle back. That's just my opinion, but yeah. Oh, we got Pooski in the house. What's up, fam? Love my sweater, bro. So many questions and attention. Love it. Yo, thanks so much for buying an NFT Pirates sweater, bro. I'm obviously not trying to shill, but if you guys want to get a Pirates sweater, you can check it out in my description below. Hopefully you're enjoying it, man, and thanks for supporting the channel. Big fan of yours, bro. Corey says, I've never been a fan of the Walmart of NFTs mentality. Veve needs to grow, but still feel special. Walmart ain't special. I agree. Totally. That's a great point. We saw people flexing their join dates on Twitter a lot today. MCP flexing will be amplified when it finally debuts. Guys, I think MCP will literally change this app. So many people want to, talk about how many things that they're getting, how many lotto tickets they've got, how many points they're getting, and it'll be constant flexing, people wanting to log in. I think it's super exciting, and I'm going to get into it, but, one thing I'm just going to say is that Veve takes their time with things. I don't believe they want to rush it. They don't want to ruin it. They want to take it in a really methodical way, and even though we're eager for it, even though we're desperate for it, even though they're late with it, I think that when it does come out, it's going to be really substantial and exciting. So is VR or AR still on the table? Yeah, I definitely think that's I mean, we already have augmented reality with some of the stuff that we're doing now, but I definitely think that that's gonna, continue to be amplified. And don't forget, folks, like Marvel and Veve are literally together at like Comic-Con booths. Like, they're literally giving their best IP and let Veve have it on the blockchain, and they're showing up with them at like comic events. Like this is the future. I'm really confident about that. Yo, Crypto Kaki, the top father in the house, man. If you haven't checked out the interview we did way back in the day, Crypto Kaki kind of called the shots early on, man. And I forget when we interviewed, but it must have been a good year and a half ago now. But this guy's got a really, really great picture about the future, and he really paints it so well. And he was so articulate back then, really got me bullish. So yeah, I think it's a big deal long term, some of the stuff he says. So just tune into his Twitter. He's a great dude. People have no idea how big MCP will do. We're all degens, and ranking systems bring out the degen in all of us. Yes. Sorry, degens. That's my tequila talking here, bro. So yeah, man, let's continue this. I think we're doing really good. So I got through that. Yo, so Corey's videos, man. Corey's videos. Okay. So everyone's like, oh, they're just videos. I'm like, no, these videos that Corey's creating are so thought out, are so meticulous, are so professional. They're so fucking well done. Corey's, man, he kind of told me like, you know what? I'm actually, he might even not. I don't think he'd like me doing this, but I'm gonna read some of the stuff that he said to me for you guys, because this is literally what Corey's doing in the background for us to create these videos, and he's taken a ton of time with them, man. So I'll just read it quickly. I'll just maybe go through half. He goes, thanks a ton. I just complimented him the video. He goes, I'll do my best to keep delivering and improving how we produce content for YouTube. And for sure, every video we make is bigger process than people probably realize. Oh, sorry, it skipped around here. To produce content related to the sale of products involving major IP, I essentially had to pitch the concept of the videos to each IP, show concept pieces. Each video with major licensors goes through an extensive fact-checking and approval process on all the licensor side. It starts with a script. Anyways, he goes off, right? It's a huge long chat he gave me. So he's like, people don't realize like how much effort's going to these videos. I'm talking like probably 20 plus hours for one video. That's not including like the weeks of work planning the process, the drop. And the reason why Corey's videos are so important is that people that weren't necessarily interested in buying some of this stuff are going to be interested once they watch these videos. Like the new Disney comic that dropped recently. A lot of people didn't really care, right? Until Corey did this video and showed the history, showed the beautiful things happening with Disney in the background. Same with FF52. Showing that it was the first appearance of Black Panther, how it came to be, the origin story, all that stuff. So honestly, like I think it's a huge step in the right direction. The videos look super bullish, and I think it makes the company just look a lot more professional. So yeah, man, appreciate everybody here. Lots of people in here. Awesome stream. Thank you, boss. The link for the sweaters is not working. There's an error. No, that's not good. Okay, here, let me see if I could fix that real quick. I'll figure it out in a sec. I'll fix that. The VV verse is the best out there. Yes, it will be. Corey videos are amazing. I agree. Will MCP points be the utility equivalent of backcalls for drops? So, you know what? Like, we got to hand it to the backcalls for unbelievable utility so far. And same with a lot of other projects, like even a kid called Beast. They were saying recently today that they were going to create different animations for the beasts so that when they're in augmented reality, they can dance, as an example. And I think the main guy, Raspy, who happens to be Canadian, also said that they might like looking at doing a movie production. So there's a lot of things like with utility in these other projects. I just think it's because Veve has 8 million NFTs. So to get utility is so difficult, right? Because you're like having to deal with different licensors, and there's just so many things to handle. And let's say like all of a sudden Disney gets utility, then like other people that are holding like James Bond stuff are going to be pissed. Like, how come we don't? I've been holding, you know what I mean? So they have to take a very like high level systematic approach to everything as well. Yeah, an idea, like I agree with you, Corey. Corey's videos are so detailed. He's building value with the understanding of the license and the item. Yes, I agree. 635. I'd be selling sets for the future in the future. I agree, bro. Crypto Kaki, selling sets and trading are two very huge parts of in real life collecting. I'd have to say at some point this has to be in app capacity. So I agree with that. I can't tell you the amount of people that like to match up their sets with the same mint. So I think it's like super important that we have that availability again. to do that, to trade, to buy, to just make it a lot more fun. Even me, man, I miss sniping in the fucking marketplace. Like I used to be the killer at that. I would make 2K sometimes like a week just like by literally buying something that's a low mint, flipping it after a drop. Like I miss that, man. Those are some crazy times, you know? So I think they need to bring out that activity. I think they're just trying to get all their ducks in a row right now. They're trying to slow things down a little bit. There's been a lot of crazy stuff that has happened. You know, crypto's a crazy world. It's the Wild West, and they want to make sure their licensors are here with them for the long term. So that's kind of what I think, man. All right, we got Dead Coins. Hey, friends, what's up, man? Do you own a kid called Beast? If so, which ones? I do not yet, man. I'm going to probably soon, but you know, I thought at 0.5 at first. I was like, I don't know if I really need it. 0.5 is like half an ETH, $1,000 my money. And then I didn't really understand the project. Now I'm like kind of listening to a few Twitter spaces. And yo, thanks so much. Fun under the sun. Little tip. I really appreciate that, man. It goes a long way. Chad for president, true OG. Thanks for all you've done since day one. We are all still too early. I totally agree, man. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. Yo, Pixel Trader. Hey, yo, appreciate the live stream. Yo, thanks for being here. We got the Miles High Club member here. Pixel, what's up, dude? Thanks for coming. Oh shit, and now we got Crypto Kaki giving me some love, man. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate this, guys. You guys are the shit. This is a lot of fun. Okay, big topic now, guys. Interoperability. So I want to lay this out straight for you guys. Everyone's like, are you gonna actually be honest? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be fucking honest. So interoperability is difficult. Okay. So one thing I came out with this tweet and I said, hey, and I meant it more jokingly. I said, hey, how funny is it that like all these people are getting scammed on OpenSea, but at least our stuff is safe here in Veve? And people hated me. They're like, dude, how could you be, you know, asking for us not to have interoperability? That's not fair. All these different things. Okay. And I agree. I think interoperability definitely long term is something that they're going to look at. But I think right now, man, the licensors probably want their IP in a safe place. And there's a lot of activity out there. It's a bear market. I just don't know personally if like big licensors with big IP been wanted to jump in, you know, head over heels right now to get in there. Okay. So now I'm not saying that I don't think that it's super critical. I do think that, you know, long term, if we really want to see some big numbers, potentially that means that, you know, you got to have Spider-Man secret rare in your cold storage to see big numbers, and that can go around and trade freely. But at the same time, I'm going to pose a few things to you. I'm going to play devil's advocate with you here. Okay. Veve has 8 million NFTs, right? Veve has 8 million NFTs. Imagine if they said, hey, guess what, guys? All our stuff is interoperable now. It's all can live on, you know, IMX, on Ethereum. It can all go on OpenSea and all that stuff, right? What could happen is that there could be so much saturation. Like if you think about some of these projects that have less than 10,000 NFTs that are literally dying off, Veve's now going to insert 8 million NFTs into the marketplace. You know what's going to happen, guys? Most of those NFTs that aren't grails, Walt, you know, Secret Rare Spider-Man, again, not financial advice, all these different ones that aren't grails are probably going to be missed. You want to know why? Because if they're not in the Veve ecosystem and propped up by other people talking about it in the community and all that stuff, people are just going to search the things that are most popular, and that's what they're going to find. Yo, and I just want to say thanks so much, Sanjay. A nice little tip here. Appreciate you, bro. People are so generous tonight, man. Thank you very much, bro. And Sanjay, if you haven't seen the interview I just did with him, Mr. MC1, go check it out. I think it was about 2 or 3 videos ago. It was a lot of fun. Oh, and I got Doctor stuff here too, man. You know, great to see you, bro. I think that's we did an interview way back, and I appreciate you being here. So I want to kind of go through the comments. So if you have comments, you know, throw them in. So I thought Immutable X was supposed to solve interoperability, and you know, maybe you're right? Maybe that was kind of this whole thing where it was a solution where, you know, it was kind of this middle place where they could live. And so I think that, you know, potentially there's still a lot of room there, and I'm definitely think it's going to happen. I just think it's a matter of when. But you know, so that's the one thing I wanted to say, right? Is that the first thing is that there's going to be so many NFTs out, let's just say, that if it does go interoperable, that people will just search for the things that are probably most popular. The second thing is that within Veve, we've collected these first appearance principles, and within the physical collecting world and within our licensed digital collectible world, everyone understands first appearance. But on OpenSea, man, what they understand is scarcity and individuality. Like if you look again at Broadside, at Bored Apes, at A Kid Called Beast, all these guys go for the traits that are like one of one traits, one of two traits, and they'll spend crazy money on it, like 10 ETH, 13 ETH. If you're a Bored Ape, you're spending like 1.34 mil, which is like 10x the floor price of a Bored Ape to get something like a Gold Ape, right? And so, like for them, if they see 3,000 editions of the same thing, it may not hit them the same way it's going to hit us. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to not be interested in that IP. I think it's super important IP and things like that, but that's just another piece to it. And the other part is that within the Veve ecosystem right now, we have a lot of people that are like helping support each other. And I think the other reason why Veve might like the ecosystem as well is because new artists or less popular IP that comes up can still get bought out, can still get like be super interested, or people would be still super interested in it, and it would still kind of live within inside Veve. So I think there's a lot of advantages for Veve, to still have this kind of ecosystem. Now, again, do I want interoperability? Of course. Like, I think that would just really, really take that to new heights. Like, I would have, my ledger here with my Spider-Man and cold storage with my friggin' Miles Secret Rare. That's what I would really want. But I'm just saying that I think that there's a lot of things there. The other thing is licensors. I really, really think that licensors would have a difficult time kind of moving around all this IP. And Trevor, if you remember Trevor that used to work for Veve and now he's at McFarlane Digital, said it to me best. He's like, when you're like working in one metaverse, let's just say with an IP, and then you go to another metaverse, all those different metaverses are probably going to be scripted differently. So it wouldn't be as easy for one asset to live in one place and then all just sudden be interoperable in another. It takes a lot of thinking and design. And so what I think is like mostly possible, and this is what I think is most possible for interoperability, is that Veve kind of has a shared interoperability with some of the major players like Disney and their metaverse. So maybe there's some kind of linkage there between Veve and Disney. And I just say this to you: why would Disney give us Mickey, Walt Disney? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they're going to give us Cinderella, Snow White. I mean, all these crazy characters, Elsa, Star Wars, Darth Vader, to be like, haha, I know we called these NFTs and I know these are super important, but in our metaverse, we're starting again new and doing it again. All right. So I know I'm talking a lot about this. I just really want to get through all my main points and I'm going to get to the next thing. But the next thing is people say to me, hey, is Disney just kind of testing other NFT platforms out in iterations? Are they going to quit and being like, hey, you can have our digital product, but you can't mint them? And then they're coming to Veve and going, hey, you can have our digital product in a higher quality and you can mint them. And then finally in theirs, they're going to be like, hey, we have, our digital project on the blockchain and it's interoperable, right? So those are the things that I think people are hesitant about, but I'm confident that, long-term we do see it. I just think we're still early, guys. I know you're so annoyed by that, but I think in 6 years or something, or even less, we'll be in a much better place. So that's some of my thoughts. I'm just going to make sure that, people don't have other thoughts. So let me just see what Crypto Tony says. I don't see what the big deal is in interoperability. What's the worst someone can do with the IP? I don't care either way, though. As long as I'm able to sell for real money crypto, I'm good, bro. That's the other thing. Such a good point. This stuff is so liquid. Like, anytime you're selling a Todd, anytime you're selling something somebody wants, low mint even, I sold a low mint the other day for 4x the floor, and I'm like, man, this is still happening. This is still a place where this ecosystem is popping up, despite being a massive bear market. And Veve is still doing well relative to so many other projects. So Disney Metaverse is called Veveverse. I mean, just damn, seems too easy to connect the dots. I like their thinking, bro. Seems like a kid called Beast has zero utility. Wes, what's up? We got another Miles High Club member in here. How you doing, bro? What are your thoughts on Spider-Man scandal going inactive wallets and maybe didn't sell out? Yeah, so Dan, I honestly don't know enough about this. I've heard this. I saw Veve Vault, I think, did cover on it. I mean, it seems interesting. I mean, I would hope that, those 60,000 Spider-Mans did sell out. I had a few thoughts. So I was like, oh, well, maybe it was bots back in the day that that kind of took up that drop, and they're just kind of like in a holding pattern right now. So I don't know enough about it to really comment, and I'd love for Veve to have the opportunity to discuss it, and just come out and say like, this is maybe they don't know, you know what I mean? Maybe there's still like some investigation that needs to be done. I also have GoChain and metadata stuff to talk to at the end. Because I know that there's been a lot of people talking about, hey, are we on the GoChain? Is that minted? What's the metadata look like, etc. So like I said, man, you know, feel free to say anything you guys want. If I don't have the answer, I'm not gonna. I can speculate, but I you know, I don't work for Veve, so I can't give you any confirmation. But it is an interesting topic, and put it this way, blockchain doesn't lie, so it's like nice that, you know, we could see all the things happening. We could see the whole thing that happened with the mods, how they would be getting some collectibles, and you know, a lot of the stuff now is coming to the to light, and I don't think it's in any way a bad thing. Like, I think a lot of things that, you know, Vv are doing with the mods, as an example, I thought that was really positive. You know, if you're doing work for them 24/7, it's nice to feel like you're getting money back as well, or at least some NFTs back. So again, man, and it's you know, the positivity and the optimism as well from the community that I think is really going to prevail here. As much as, again, we could be have some really strong constructive criticism, I think that, you know, making sure that our community is heard and is positive on a massive scale is so critical, because that's what's really going to drive mass adoption, not fudding, not trolling, not making fun of other people. We want to see Vivi succeed. And, you know, if it does become like OpenSea or bigger, you know, we might not even need. I'm not okay. Don't quote me. I'm just, obviously, I want, everyone wants interoperability, but I'm just saying that we might still see mass adoption despite that necessarily not coming in the next little bit, right? Hit that like button. Yes, thank you so much, bro. When I spoke to Dan at New York Comic Con, I asked, suggested we get a 10K drop with various attributes, rarities like OpenSea projects. He said possibly. That'd be pretty cool. It's a good idea. I agree. I fear that if I click something somewhere, my OpenSea account can get hacked and my NFTs will be stolen. I like VV in a closed container, so gas fees and all the security issues. Yeah, again, like, you know, I've collected a lot of things on OpenSea, and you know, you are dealing with high gas fees. You are dealing with a lot of people, a lot of different like hackers, you know, trying to send different NFTs in your wallet, or you join a new Telegram and, you know, people are trying to scam you. And we had the same thing when VV you know, didn't have the secondary market. There was a ton of scams happening and things like that. So, you know, I think that licensors just are trying to be careful with their IP in a world that, you know, NFTs right now is a very sensitive topic and kind of has a negative connotation associated with it because of like the pump and dumps and because of the money laundering and things like that. Although there's a lot of good things that have happened with NFTs, I do think that, you know, a lot of people still associate with them negatively. So many good comments in here. One announcement and the collectibles on the VV platform of 4x in minutes. Yeah, I mean, that's such a good point Crypto Tony brings up. If Disney fucking announces like, hey, everybody, you know, go check out these NFTs. If Marvel does the same thing, if Star Wars does the same thing, and they're like hitting everybody every day, you know, things could really take off, and they haven't done that yet, right? So, I mean, and Sean from Comics and Crypto says it best. You know, why would you want to you know, bring everybody to your house when the walls aren't up, right? Vivi's still kind of creating all these things, ensuring that everything's going to come to the forefront. So yeah, man, so many good comments. Number 41 mint may not matter outside of Vivi, but if they saw mint number 1962 on AF15, it'll be like a rare Bored Ape. True, it'd be like a one of one. Good point, man. That's a good point. Special mints and stuff like that. Good day, my man. Thanks for being here. The NFT community is never going to be like Vivi. When the people come around to digital collecting, Vivi stuff is what they're going to want. Vivi will always be the bad guy to the NFT maxis. Good point, bro. And you know what, guys? I'm going to get into this, but in terms of accessibility, familiarity, and mass adoption, Vivi's, in my opinion, my humble opinion, most set up to do the best. I mean, you're friggin' opening your phone, it's a click of the button, you're on the blockchain, you just bought a character you know you love, and there's a lot of editions of it, so you can get in at an affordable price. You're not going to be paying 2 ETH just to get on the floor. So, yeah, man. Yo, thanks so much. Awesome show. Appreciate you being here. So cool. Man, so many people in here right now. This is so crazy. Disney has already given us their biggest characters. You can buy them in Amazon, Walmart, eBay, which are currently more decentralized than Vivi. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. The only thing I would say there is that, you know, these ones are going to be like immortalized on the blockchain. And imagine if Disney gave you their first ever toy, you know, what would that be worth in 30 years from the time that it came out? You know, so again, I agree with you. Like, I think that, you know, we could be looking at, you know, the toys of the future, so to speak. But at the same time, these first ever toys and the first ones on the blockchain and the potential utility that's coming, like we haven't even talked about, like renting, burning, like maybe getting you access to private clubs, you know, like being able to open up different parts of a metaverse, be able to, like, there's so many things that could come with utility as well once we get into the metaverse. So again, love your comment, but I do think that, like, you know, we're going into a future where the world it's going to be a digital revolution, and it's just a matter of when. Prefer low 3-digit comic or the last mint comics? I like the last mint comics pretty badass, man. It's a 1 of 1 at that point. Low comics are amazing, but Veve also said that they might kind of take away that number 41. Maybe they're only going to collect 20 in the future, and then we get more availability of the mints. So just something to be mindful of. Sometimes getting those 1 of 1s might actually be more fruitful. Get enough financial advice. I have a 121 SR Spotty. Should I sell it at floor price? I can't answer that, man, but you have to do what's best for you. If you're maybe selling it and then going in a bunch of quantum computing and artificial intelligence coins for the next bull, then maybe you'll do better than me. You know what I mean? Crypto Tony, winners are able to see the opportunity in the worst situation. Those that are stacking right now and holding will find out soon. So I just want to comment on this point. I think that's so true, bro. And somebody just tipped me. Was this, Corey, man? Bro, thank you so much. Man, look at these people tonight. Holy, thanks for sharing your perspective and honest understanding earned by listening to lots of people in this space. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, I've heard so many, so really just trying to, give you guys the details. And there's a lot of more comments down here, so I'm going to get to them all. So, bear with me. I see some other people tip me too, so thank you guys. And so, I just wanted to talk about, winners able to see the opportunity in the worst situations. Like when all this, like, I'll give you an example. Okay. When FTX came out and crypto had that black swan event, everything tanked. And, when everyone's buying up presents and, celebrating the holidays over Christmas, some people were buying AI coins and throwing $2,000 into stocks like friggin', Singularity DAO or Singularity Net and just sitting on that. And then it just did an 8 to 10x and they just sold off. And now things are starting to tank again. And so my point to that is like, when everyone's like crypto is shit and they're scared of it and nobody should be buying crypto, and then you go and buy crypto and you wait for once everyone gets more excited again, then you're able to actually capitalize on that opportunity. So it's right now like, oh, NFTs are bad, we'll never see the light of day, all this stuff. You got to think to yourself, okay, Marvel Comics #1, 600 Minton, AF15 SR #1. It's the first appearance of that Spider-Man in that comic in real life, first time on the blockchain. Okay, what do you think that could mean? I mean, when we're going and taking the full world and moving over digitally, I think a lot of people are going to still want to have those comics. And if they can't afford, the scarce print in real life, that will probably surpass 3.6 million, be like 10 million for the #1, highest grade. People are going to look for the next best thing, in my opinion. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Tried to sell 51 secret rare Oswald, 2x4, wouldn't sell. Now he's mine forever. Nice. It makes so much sense to have our Marvel Disney entities being interoperable in Disney's metaverse. That's what matters to me personally. I agree. Why does the team not address community issues? The silence is sometimes worse than the truth. Kill the speculation of others. I agree. I do think there should be a roadmap. I do think they should address it a lot faster. I think sometimes is that they want to make sure that the answers that they do have are substantial and they don't want to create further FUD. But for me, if they said, hey, guess what? Interoperability is not coming for at least 2 years, it would actually still make me, bullish. Like I'd be like, okay, now I could plan. I understand a little bit more when I think this is going to pop. But again, I don't think they know because I think they're licensors. They deal with so many licensors that they all have different opinions as well. And they're really kind of subject to what they think, right? So I think there's that. Good point. Gas using a bull market out of control pricey. Good point. I saw it in one, man. I think I'm gonna have to fly through these comments. I apologize, but there's just so many, and I just want to make sure I'm hitting off all those points that I've got in my slide deck, which I showed you guys. Exactly. You got another Miles 9.8 comic in the background. I do, man. I've got a bunch of Miles comics right now, like 12 or 15. Corey, want to thank you, and Sergio's here, guys, too, man. Love your sincerity and positive outlook. One of my favorite Veve channels, bro. Thank you so much. Guys, if you haven't seen Sergio's Twitter, he's been doing some amazing work, really polished, professional, articulate work, putting out almost daily tweets on some really important topics and, on various different NFT projects that he's involved in. But definitely go give him a shout on Twitter, man. Definitely one of the best channels out there. Agreed, Sergio. Thanks, bro. Man, people are so crazy. Flawless interviews, skills as well. Very fluid. Thank you, bro. Do this more often, brother. We need positive reinforcement for this platform. We need you. Thank you so much, guys. So many awesome comments tonight and tips. Like, I really, really appreciate that. You guys don't need to do that. And if you guys stay around to the end, I will be doing some pretty crazy giveaways. I've got some Miles stuff, Got a Gwen Stacy FA comic I'm going to give away, brought the 5th edition though. So if you stay till the end, I think it's like an $80 in real life Canadian values. So I'll give away some stuff at the end too. Brought some HRO cards from GameStop today. Showed assistant manager the Veve app. He lost it. He downloaded the app on the spot and was shocked that he'd never heard of it. We early. Love that. Love that. Love that. Hear that, folks? What are some AI coins you would recommend for me? Well, again, I can't recommend anything. I mean, especially right now. But I'm in a ton of them. I just think that, artificial intelligence is kind of where we're going. We saw the whole thing with ChatGPT. We saw the whole thing with Bing now, and, Google's trying to get out there with Bard. So I just think that, it's going to automate so many processes for us. I mean, my wife and I were talking about it today on Excel. You're soon just going to be able to talk to Excel and you'd be like, hey, create me an expense ratio for everything I bought this month compared to my profit margin. Give me, what the difference is, and then how I can invest this in the, most profitable way. And it'll literally spit that out for you instantaneously. So AI, in my opinion, that's just one example of thousands of examples where AI is going to do so much in the future. Dr. Strange, a real one. What's up, brother? I think Veve shouldn't keep mints 1 to 40. It's much better if they keep the last mints because many people spending money on stuff. I agree, but the only thing with that, so many people that have already got number 41, like Sleepin has the number 41 Daredevil as an example. Imagine now saying, hey, guess what? We're going to throw out another 30 in circulation. It could really kind of deter the value of what a lot of people have already spent, thinking that those number 41 was the first available public mint. I just think it's something to consider, and they probably thought about that too. The problem with the team trying to stop FUD, it's playing whack-a-mole. They'll hammer one FUD pain point and a new one will show up. Got to choose the battles wisely, for sure. And there's so many things, right? Like there's so many things that need obviously improvement. But at the same time, we also got to see how far we've come. Like the fact that we even have Disney on the blockchain, the fact that we have Darth Vader sitting here, guys, like so many things that we're like, whoa, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that when you guys start thinking like long term. I've always said this, like other NFT projects in the future can come up with better utility if they get same licensors. So for instance, they can have their Darth Vader, but it's never going to be the FA. FA has permanence. It's a one-time only thing. And when there's thousands of different Vaders on hundreds of different NFT platforms in the future, Veve will remain the number one Vader that was minted first. And because it's on IMX, which is then, I guess in the same realm as Ethereum, it is a huge blockchain. It's likely going to have a lot of sustainability. So I do think it's a big deal. And I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking like 15, 20 years out. You know what I mean? So again, I've got a long-term vision on Veve. I just enjoy it. I'm slowly collecting. I'm just DCAing. I don't have a huge collection. I've sold things off in bull markets before. You know what I mean? Like I'm just enjoying the process, guys. Just know the Vaultaholics are ready and waiting to build in the Veveverse. Yes. Yo, another amazing tip, man. Carl, awesome stream, brother. Pure gold on here. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Really appreciate this tonight, guys. Everybody's so supportive, means a lot. I don't do lives often. It's just nerve-wracking because you want to make sure you're giving a lot of good information. But yeah, I really appreciate that. Crypto Tony says, I look at it like McDonald's. They don't tell you why McRib is coming back, but when it does sell, the masses don't need to know every turn Veve takes. Just collect. Yeah, I think that's a good point too, man. How does one join the Miles Club? You got to have a Miles Secret Rare, my friend. But if you have one, come join us. Crypto Tony, I believe they will too. That's amazing, bro. Thanks for the input. Thank you. Future is going to be just like the Jetsons, robots doing everything minus flying cars. Grail is going to grail, not financial advice. Exactly. Always not financial advice. All right. I think I'm caught up to the comments. Thanks again for all the tips. And let's get back to this chart. All right. So we talked about, the exclusive covers, macro collecting strategy, saturation, the new app update, Corey's videos, interoperability, new branding. Okay. So this one is going to be controversial. I think there's a lot of people that, aren't happy with the branding. A lot of memes coming out. Even for me, I was like, oh, this is really kind of more of a lovey-dovey thing where there's a lot of degens in here and a lot of crypto guys and a lot of flippers and, even to some point, some botters and scammers. So, all of a sudden I'm seeing like collectors at heart. But what I'm interested in is this. Is that we're not taking into consideration what Veve's goal is. Right now, they've already got us, guys. They've got the crypto people. They got the degens, right? They've hooked us in. We're in here for this major ROI thing long term. But what they're doing is they're saying, okay, we need mass adoption. They know that's their golden goose. How are we going to get it? Are we going to have something that's going to be really kind of intimidating as a logo that's really kind of, AI looking or very like high level? Or are we going to kind of go down to the basics, more like Disney's level, and say collectors at heart? Now, this is what I think of. If I'm a family, okay, if I'm a family and I'm out there at Disney World and I see an app and it says like collectors at heart, and it shows me, some of the things that sort of some of the mascots that we just saw, or some of the physical items that I just bought. And it's like, hey, you might also want the digital version if you bought the physical. That might be a great way, it's for like some of these people to get interested in that, right? So I think that there's a lot of um a lot of interest in terms of what they've done there, and some people are saying it's good, some other people are saying it's bad, but I personally think it's really good, because I think it's appealing to the masses, and we're not the masses. We're, again, like most of us are probably crypto people. I can't say for sure, but I'm looking at my YouTube analytics all the time. It's 99% men. 99% men from the age of 19 to 55. So that's generally what I'm seeing. So I don't think this is, maybe I'm wrong. It could be the real Alex, it could not be, but there is a fake one and there is a real one. Because let me on one of your streams and we can talk branding. We can split the tips. I accept Vimo, PayPal, and Zelly Sincerio. Okay, so this is definitely the fake Alex, but I appreciate the fake Alex being here, and it's funny, man. And I'm in talks with Alex, trying to get him on. Love to get him on. So the other thing about the branding, first of all, throw your thoughts as well about the branding. But yeah, the other thing about the branding that I think is interesting is that there's a lot of different color contrasts and things like that. And I think it's because it's going to represent different fandoms. So like maybe Marvel would be red, maybe blue will be something else. And they can kind of use those colors interchangeably. And then there was a lot of discussion that maybe, Meta and Veve were, in discussion because the logos look similar, and you never know. I mean, again, that's pure. I wish that was alpha, but you never know. So I think there's a lot there, but I really think that they did their due diligence with that, as much as it did look a little more simplistic maybe than people hoped for. I was thinking it could be Veve logo, and then it says like collect, connect, create, or something would be the slogan instead of collectors at heart. But I think they have the reasons for it. I think they probably talked with their licensors. They probably went through a lot of robust and rigorous testing, and maybe they thought that that's what was really going to get the people that we don't think of, like the families and seniors. Like, I don't know, right? Like, where they're going to also be interested in collecting and all these things too. So I think there was more thought than we thought that went into it, and potentially that there's a lot of other things happening behind the scenes that we're not privy to at this moment. So we always speak about growing the fan base, so we have to go outside of the demographic that isn't on the app. That's exactly right. I'm going to star that for a second. That's exactly what I was trying to say, and I think you just put that together so quickly. But yeah, we're already here, guys. Like, the people that want to be here are be here. It's like preaching to the choir, right? So it's like, how are we going to get the non-choir to want to come to church? So that's kind of how it works. I think branding is super important. I did a study on just branding for business and a lifeline. Sick, man. I was excited when I saw it, but I won't be rocking any new logo merch. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing is like, if I'm trying to like as an example, are you gonna have some crypto whale come in here that's gonna spend $1 million on like 10 secret rare Spider-Mans and then tweet out collector at heart? You're not gonna ever see that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So like, Veve is really going for that accessibility, inclusivity approach. Now I do think that we still might see some crazy price points on some of these items, but I definitely think they're trying to like appeal to definitely a wider fan base. And I just, like I said, I don't see a crypto whale saying anything like that. So anyways, that's my thoughts on the new branding. What's your thoughts? Disney ain't gonna let Veve do that on site. Or maybe you're right, Robert, and that's just an example that I put together. But yeah, maybe you're right. Jimbo Lee says, hello, Master Chat. I have the SR Miles Morales. Where's the group? I would like to join if possible. Bro, I'll add you right after this stream, man. I'll get you in. Alex, need that percent. Yeah. Would love to see you in an interview on this channel. Let me just check my messages to make sure this is not the real Alex or the fake Alex. Let me see right now. If you message me, I'll know it's the real Alex. No, okay, so he didn't message me. Nothing new from Alex. So yeah, man. It's the fake one, but maybe the fake one's good, man. Maybe he needs a little pay. I don't know. We'll have to see. 10% payout, mafia rates. Buddy, it's a high rate. Nobody's saying it's not high. I mean, like, if you think about it, when you sell something, right? Like, let's say I sell a secret rare Spider-Man. Let's say I sell Walt. Let's just say Walt 3K. As soon as you sell it, you're already losing 6%. So you're already down. What would that be? $260. Then you try to get out of the app, you're losing another, almost $300. So you've lost $500 just on that. And then it comes to you, and then you might have to pay taxes on that in the coming years. I don't know how it's all going to work. So I get you. It's a lot. But and some of the next bullets I want to talk about is crypto pay in, pay out might be coming too. And so at least it's a way out at the moment. Some other people have also messaged me saying that they're having difficulty with the wire transfers in their country. So we're going to get into that too. If it's real, Alex, then unban Vault. Yes. That comment was spot on. I think it's really you. Amount field blank on metadata. Yeah, GoChain data. I agree. I think a lot of people have been speculating about that too. That they can't actually pinpoint where the GoChain data is, but I just know back in the day, when Marvel says the first Marvel NFT, which was Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure that was on GoChain. I saw GoChain come out with tweets, so I'd like to investigate that further. I don't know enough about that. But a lot of people have been kind of interested in that. And I think one of the co-founders potentially was commenting. So, maybe people, if you have more thoughts on that, throw them in the chat. Juicy stuff. Haha. Yes. This guy Bobby always comments on my YouTube videos. He's like, man, give us something juicy. So hopefully today's juicy enough for you, bro. I want a VV to Moon just to see if I'll cry. That's awesome, man. We might have gotten more users from previous Comic Cons if Veve did not require folks to KYC to use the app. That's a good point. Glad they will be able to change that in the future. Only need KYC to sell or cash out. Yeah, man. I totally agree, man. Chad, if I buy 10 rare miles, can I join the club? Man, you got to buy one secret rare, man. It sucks. The only reason I do that is for feasibility. Like, I would obviously love to have a big miles club, even like get in the comics and everything like that. But the problem is like, to engage with everybody effectively. Sometimes I'll do the odd giveaway, stuff like that. It just becomes a lot harder when there's that much more people. So again, it's not to, not include everybody, but it's just a way of kind of, just having us there. But, maybe I'll create a Discord or something in the future and then have these different sections. Maybe that'd be a more kind of wholesome way to ensure that I still can kind of have some great fan base and people discussing these awesome NFTs. Just think of Veve NFT when Bitcoin was in 2009 and we were super early. It'd take a little time for mass adoption. Yeah, man. If you bought, I think it was like $1 Bitcoin in 2009 and waited till today, it'd be worth like 30 mil. You know what I'm trying to say? So, I mean, think about it. There's only ever going to be 1,000 secret rare Spider-Mans. There's only ever going to be 4,333 first appearance of Mickey and Walt. Like, people will have to care. I mean, even if it's only 4,333 people that care, out of 8 billion, that's all you need. You know what I mean? We need that docs, Alex, or you ain't here. Yes, I agree. The rebranding is spot on for growing the base. The logos look simple, but it's got unseen levels. In my opinion, there is a roadmap for it all as well. Develop over time. Agree. And also, they just got on Ryan from The Drop. Sick dude. He's there now. And he's doing like a lot of the social media management. He's got a really extensive career with that stuff. And so I really think he's also going to be helping that out. You should expand the miles for the UR2. I may or may not have a low man UR miles. Man, I got to maybe relook at that group then. Do you think the first Spider-Man drop actually sold out, or what do you make of the 10K and some wallet attached to Veve? Yeah, so when I first heard about this, I thought that potentially it was like some people that, just bought it with bots, because I remember at the time, maybe they didn't really understand all the potential bots. And then I thought they just got like locked up because Veve found out. Some people are speculating that, Veve wanted to, hide some of these Spider-Mans because they wanted to impress Marvel, to say that it sold out right away. I don't know the intricacies, and I could speculate, but I don't know enough, right? Like, I feel like, Veve's got to come out and discuss that. I think they will. I think that, there's probably a good reason for it. I'm hoping. They've been nothing but kind of coming out with a lot of the stuff in the past that we've questioned them about. So I think if the community continues to pressure Veve just on like, a lot of the other issues that they talk about, then I think that, maybe we'll get some answers. But again, I don't know enough. I could speculate, but I don't know enough about it to really be like, this is exactly what happened. If I look back at that drop, it didn't, I think like the Secret Rare Spider-Man, I just remember it was like only like 1.6K. I think it had like a low of like 1.3K at the time. You know, so maybe there is more than meets the eye on that one. I don't know, man. Yeah, just DM me on Twitter, man, for sure. Chad, what would you stock right? Okay, so let me get okay. You want to see what I stock right now? All right. So let me see where I'm at on my little chart here, because I want to make sure I'm giving you guys all the alpha here. So yeah, so I just talked about new branding. Okay, so I'll just say quickly the crypto pay-in, why I think that's going to be super important. I have a lot of crypto, not a ton, but I just know I would be so much better off using my crypto to buy these NFTs on Veve, and I'll tell you why, man. For Canadians, it's so expensive to buy gems on your phone. If I want to buy like a Todd right now on my phone, that's going to cost me probably just under 2 grand Canadian for a $1,000 item, because I'm going to be paying whatever the conversion is to the American dollar. And then on top of that, I'm paying all these taxes to Apple. So, like, fuck that. Give me ETH and I'm going to buy stuff, right? But like, that's not like why there's a big standstill, I think, too, is like the crypto pay and crypto payout is an issue. And the thing is, too, man, if we have crypto pan, we can basically take advantage of hype cycles. Like when crypto's up, throw some stuff out, go buy some crypto. And then all of a sudden now when Veve's up, you're going back and forth, right? You can capitalize on both the markets. And I think that would cause a lot more activity. But again, I don't like, you know, Veve could be going down more of a direction of like, again, hashtag collectors at heart, where like they want to slow down some of that stuff too, because they want people to be more there for the lore and the collecting and that kind of stuff. But I do think it'll happen. I think it's essential. And I'm just hoping that there's not kind of like limits in the transactions. I hope like some ETH whale could come in. If they want to spend 100 ETH, they can. But I think that would be huge. And then the next thing is what you should be collecting right now. Okay, so here's my take. You know, and again, like people say like, hey, they're not NFTs, like that, you know, that's fine, man. Like if you want to think that they're not NFTs, I definitely think they are. The only thing that I agree with is that they're not necessarily like interoperable with like cold storage at the minute. But I definitely think that they're getting there, and I do think that you know, it's part of the roadmap, and they're NFTs, man. They've been called NFTs by Disney and Marvel themselves, by Reese, by the community, by so many people. So anyways, I want to get into a few things here, guys. So what would you stock right now? Okay, so here's my thoughts. Right now, everybody goes after the same stuff, right? They're like, oh, give me a Walt, give me, you know, Mickey, give me Superman, give me the Secret of Spider-Man, give me a Miles Morales, you know, give me all these things. And I agree, those are all like great stuff to have, Darth Vader even. But there's like these kind of like B characters, not even B characters, but other characters that are still like important. But because we don't have the mass adoption that we have right now, and because a lot of these new things have dropped in the bear market, I don't think they ever saw values that the previous ones I just aforementioned did. So as an example, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, again, not financial advice, but that is still a top 5 Star Wars superhero, limited to 5,000 mints. And, you know, that thing's going for whatever it's going for, right? What is it, like 60 gems? It's like friggin' retail. And if you think like, okay, if we get another 100,000 Star Wars fans in the app long term, you don't think they're going to want the first appearance of Obi-Wan Kenobi, despite how it may look to some people? Or Daredevil, they just cut it down to like 2,000 mints. You know, Daredevil in comics is massive. You know, you don't think 2,000 people is going to want the FA of that. And again, a lot of these things that dropped in the bear, like even recently there was like a new comic that came out, but people were comparing it to Avengers, the first appearance of Khan, I think it was. And the comic was like $320, just as scarce. But the first appearance of Khan was like, I forget what it's called, but it was like pretty much like 4 grand. But they were like similar in scarcity and also similar on the in real life physical uh like value as well through comics. So that's the stuff that I'm thinking about, is like, you know, do you stack up 100 Obi-Wans right now? Again, not financial advice, but like that's just my thinking, is like where, you know, back then, like a lot of these things saw really big all-time highs, and then a lot of people are still holding on to them, so they never kind of dropped down to maybe the same price point as a lot of these new things that dropped in the bear market when there wasn't a lot of hype, when there was fewer users. You know, when we have mass adoption again, or if we do have a mass amount of people coming in, those things still may go to crazy heights, right? So that's kind of what I think. All right, so that's that. MCP, I'll get into MCP. I'm just going to walk through some comments again. So we're almost halfway there. They're not NFTs. I know, I heard you, bro. Oh, I got Grubba B in here. Yo, what up, Chad? Love this time to accumulate a gifted opportunity to DCA your way back into the game. If you bought things during the last bull run, Veve has the IP. I'm taking advantage. Are you? For sure, Graba. Yo, Graba is a big whale in our community. He's also a huge DC backpile guy too. He's just got so many things. He's got a wicked history of knowing when to sell, when to buy, and he's stacking, man. I know you got some big stacks out there. You have some crazy mints. I think you used to have the number 40 Nightwing or something like that. Yeah, so give Graba a follow. We did an interview way back, trying to get him back on the channel. So Graba, man, we gotta connect, my man. Sham Gravel, we got, hey brother, keep up the good work. Thank you. They're not NFTs. See, some people still think that. We got to be okay with that. We got to be able to battle. We got to talk. We got to redefine. You know, some people are so quick to get so worried about some of the critiques or the FUD. I think it's important. It's a way we can develop. It's a way that we can learn. We ain't man FA. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know if what that means. You're looking for Ant-Man FA? Is that what you're looking for? Just wait, the US dollar going to get smashed soon. Yeah, well, if that's the case, so will the Canadian dollar. A lot of startup businesses do this, buy their own stuff to cause buying pressure to jumpstart the buy, and they do this. It's actually common for one. I don't care either way. Yeah, and I mean, maybe that's a possibility. That goes back to the whole Spider-Man thing. Who knows? You know, if it was, I'd be, I mean, maybe, you know, maybe you don't care, but I'd be like, okay, like you got some explaining to do, but you're right, man. I mean, you know, maybe that was a way where, hey, if it wasn't for that move, maybe we wouldn't have the same amount of people interested. I don't know enough, but it definitely, I think, is worthwhile, you know, seeing what the reasoning is behind that. Is crypto pay-in a whitelist right now? Yes, it is. It is. I think Randy is on it. I'm not on it, but I think Randy Chavez is on it. And so he's probably got some, you know, so that's pretty damn cool, right? Like crypto pay-in is a big deal. It's a big deal. I think that's wicked. Respectfully, what do you think of the Veve influencer community? Not you, but many of them really look like homeless people, and it's not good for the new look who are inquiring and see these people. All right, so here's my thing, guys. So let me just tell you, like, I'm not a whale by any means. I don't have a huge collection. I just love this stuff. I've been very calculated in this. I think I told you guys I had a wedding in a house last year, or the year before that. Yeah, it was 2021 that I had to pay for. And you know, that was the priority, right? And I've just always done this in a calculated way where I love it, but I've never invested enough money where it, you know, everything goes to zero. It doesn't really hit me at all, right? Financially. So I'm just in it here to be honest for the love. I have a genuine connection to you guys and to the, like what this means. I think it's a big deal. I think, you know, and I think the reason a lot of the community members left, and I do have this on my slideshow too, have influencers left on the bottom right there. Is because there's a few things. First of all, you're dealing with a lot more FUD. So you're dealing with a lot more negative comments. The second thing is generally you're losing subscribers. So since I've been going in this bear market for the last 4 months, I've probably lost about 100 subscribers or it's stagnant. So I'm not getting anything there. I was using like back in the bull, I was making about $2,000 a month in ad revenue. Now I'm making like $150. So for a lot of people, I just don't think it's worth their time to be like, oh, let me invest all this time and energy into all these people. Not that they don't like you guys, but just maybe because it's not yielding them enough money or enough, you know, Twitter followers or enough gain. Even my Twitter has stagnant. It's like 10.3. My Instagram's lost like 100 followers, right? So that's my point. Like I'm not getting much gain out of this at all, other than learning and enjoying the conversations and accumulating and stuff like that. But that's, I think, why a lot of people have left. And the other thing is that, you know, it's kind of the vibe. You know, there's some people that like kind of like the what was it, the Doge millionaire or whatever that guy's name was. Like, you know, like a lot of people like to kind of give this crypto vibe that they're like all invested on a project. But for me, I would never recommend going into something that you can't afford, or trying to take a chance or gamble when you have much more important things like, you know, your family to deal with, your bills, your mortgage. You know, we do have some crazy cool people in here like friggin' Dr. Profit that can buy up 100+ partner statues, but the majority of us are just here because we love it. And, you know, just be smart. And every now and then you hit a drop, right? And you might get a really crazy secret rare comic, or, you know, you might have something that will really kind of help you out. But don't FOMO into this stuff. Like this is a very long-term vision. Again, not financial advice. And I just see this in the long run kind of really taking off. So Yo, Will Goes Meta, great advice, Chad. I'm also a big FA guy. Yo, Will Goes Meta, great fucking channel. He's come on before for an interview as well. And yeah, man, he's got some really good insight into the importance of FA as well. Full transparency, I don't own one. Yeah, that's all right, man. Chad, check your Twitter DMs. All right, let me see. This is Crypto Kaki that just said that to me, so let me just see what he said. Oh shit, is that actually, so it's actually Alex? Yo, is that actually true? That's hilarious. So Crypto Kaki just let me know that he thinks it's actually Alex that was in this. Let me just see. I'm gonna message Alex now. I'm surprised he wouldn't just message me. Oh shit, he actually said it is me. Oh shit, I'm gonna give him a link. Let's see if he joins, guys. Totally thought you were the fake one. I'm gonna give him a link. Let's see if he comes on. One sec, guys. This will be awesome. Copy that. All right. Okay, one sec. Let me just message Alex here. I'll give him a link. If he comes on, we know it's the real Alex. Okay, guys? This would be hilarious. Oh, he says too late to come on now. He says too late to come on. Oh, I totally thought it was going to be the fake Alex, but too bad. Too bad. Well, I should have been a little more did a little more due diligence. We would have had the legend himself, the head of marketing on, guys. We could have really picked his brain, but it's all good, man. What did I miss? You missed a lot, man. We almost had Alex come on the stream. We getting Ant-Man with movie animation could be sick. Yes, that'd be unreal. I only have $100 a month for Veve. What should I get? Not financial advice. You got to collect what you love, man. Collector at heart. Can't really give financial advice. If it was me, I'd probably get into some Star Wars stuff, some FAs. That's just what I love, man. Why is quid selling comics at Veve? Something's not right. I don't know. So are we able to sue Disney if they're not NFTs and they've sold them as NFTs and we should have ended up open and shut case, right? I don't care what they are. I can sell them for real bread. Yeah, man. I mean, so many people have so many, bitter kind of comments and stuff like that about that stuff. For me, I mean, these are NFTs. Veve said them so many times. Marvel's come out and said it. Disney said it. Do you think Disney would, chance their reputation by saying something that was inaccurate? I don't think so, man. Comics and crypto, let's go. They're minted on the blockchain. I mean, I think we're in a good place. Yo, comics and cryptos here. Holy shit. Sorry, guys. I've been talking for I've got my tequila's almost done. Comics and crypto, huge channel, 9K on YouTube, 17.5K on Twitter. You all know who they are. Best probably with alongside Sleeping Comics, comic channels out there, unreal dudes. And Sean's my boy, and same with Spencer. We're close, man. What's the best way to pick the one? Yes, it's him 100%. So Alex, I formally apologize. I totally thought it was the fake Alex because the fake Alex always trolls me. I did send Alex the live stream. So we'll see what happens. I don't think he's gonna come on, but yeah, crypto Kaki, thanks for the update, man. That's so too bad. I feel so bad. I could have had Alex on, guys. That's okay. I'll try to get him on in the future. Help me out to get him on. I think it'd be a really cool interview. This is awesome. Thanks, Corey. What do you think of comic ultra rares? There seems to be a nice price on many of the key issues compared to SR. I agree. I think it's just we don't have the masses yet to really kind of wake up those ultra rares. And the one thing I've always said about social capital is people want the best of the best of the best. I've seen the same thing in Pokemon cards. Like if you go to a Shadowless Charizard to a first edition Shadowless, you're looking at crazy different price points. Like I'm talking like from a 9.8 Shadowless Charizard is like, I don't know, like 50K to like a 9.8 first edition Shadowless, you're looking at like 300 plus K. So like those little subtle things, I think sometimes make a difference. And I've seen that over and over again. You made it when you have a fake version popping up. Yeah, exactly. I agree. And bro, I just totally thought it was the fake Alex because like the fake Alex always comments, and I'm always like, "Hey Alex, was this you, the real Alex?" And he's like, "Nah, man, that's the fake one." So I just assumed that was the fake one. Too bad. Oh well. What are FA's first appearances, bro? Would have loved to hear Alex. Same here, man. Let's guys work with me. We need to get him back on one day. All right. The blockchain will protect us. It sure will. Okay, thanks, Tony. You're welcome. All right, cool. So I'm caught up with comments. We almost got Alex, guys. Next time. That's all good. And Crypto Kaki, at least thanks for letting me know, bro, ahead of time. All right, next guy. Okay, so here we go. So we did. Okay, so now we got to talk about MCP. So Master Collector Program. So what I have written down is two quick things. Master Collector Program, I think, will help propagate the value of the items that nobody wants because they're going to get points. So people collecting sets and stuff like that, like cheap sets, they're going to like probably like go, be a little more elevated. And I think potentially grails will go down a little bit. The reason for that is you can sell a grail off, make a bunch of money, collect more sets, more cheaper items, and then have more lotto tickets and more points. And that will kind of help even out the playing field somewhat. Again, and that's just for people that care about MCP, because obviously, they'll want to have like more lotto tickets and things like that. I don't think personally that it was worth it for me. I always say this: I'm not going to trade gold for pennies in hopes to get more gold. If I've already got gold, right? I'm not going to trade it out and say, like, give me a lot more pennies and hopes to get another gold brick. I want to hold that gold brick and then I will try to get more pennies to see what I can get elsewhere. But that's just my strategy. And we already have a lot of significant FAs on the app. We've already got a lot of the big guns. So unless Pokemon's coming or unless like we got a Wolverine drop, Hulk drop, Cinderella, Snow White, like some other ones, obviously Veve's got so much IP, so I mean maybe I'm just like missing, but a lot of the big stuff like top 10 superheroes like Superman, Batman, like I said, Spider-Man, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, like a lot of the big stuff's here, right? So that's just why for me MCP is going to be awesome. I'm going to get into it. And I think it's going to be a crazy competition, similar to what we see on HRO right now. And on HRO they're even burning things. So yeah, man. Unique covers not seen in physical seem like a big deal, but no clue how real comic characters feel. Hopefully can get their opinions. I agree. It'd be good to get their opinions. Like, I'm speculating, but I agree that, getting the physical comic collectors to discuss that would be ideal. I think special mint commons will flip the SRs long term. Yeah, I think those one of one special mints mean a lot. The only other thing I'd say to that is like what they look like on the metadata, because like for instance, like if you have the forward facing mint, but on the metadata it's not lined up with the actual way it was batched or came out, then I don't know what that's going to mean for the value. I mean, maybe it's going to be the same because the mint is going to be forward facing within the Veveverse as an example, but it's just something to think about. I had fake Alex yesterday in my comments. Maybe it was real after all. Yeah, maybe it was, man. Okay, we got comics and crypto. Anytime they speak, I listen. We would love to see MCP points connect with the physical space too, like having a chance to own rare physical Marvel variants or even a chance to get digital signatures from artists. Damn, and this is why they're the best. So totally agree. That's such a good point because now you're not just collecting lotto tickets for future drops. Now there's this chance to have actual other value from potentially artists or these other like exclusive Marvel variant covers that would be insane. And again, like just like Sean said or Spencer, whoever's there from Comics and Crypto representing, there could be a lot of interesting things that they come up with for MCP points. Like maybe that also has an opportunity to buy land in the Veveverse or gives you accessories. There's probably going to be so much they do for it, and right now I'm just thinking more preliminary, but I agree, that's a great point that you make there. Comics and crypto, how to get into special mint comment mints. Well, I mean, like an example, like the 1901 Walt, like when Walt Disney was born, a lot of people would give that a really historical significance and would pay a premium, and we've already seen that in the bull where people were paying big premiums for special mints. Yeah, and Comics Cryptos agrees where they're very bullish on the publishing year mints. Amazing. So something no one ever talks about is the prototypes, David, you talked about, where we burn X amount of collectibles to receive a special 5 to 10 edition prototype collectible. That is crazy. So imagine, that you're burning something like, I don't know, like if you burn, 2 ultra rare Spider-Mans and whatever, like another Spider-Man variant, like or an SR Miles, all of a sudden you get like a black Spider-Man or a black Spidey suit like as an accessory, and there's like only like 3 of them or whatever, right? I'm just making up a stupid example, but I think that's a really interesting thing. I mean, burning, renting, all that stuff, I think it's a ways out, but that's going to get exciting, right? And people always ask, why would you rent? Why would you rent? I'm telling you right now, I give you 5 reasons why you'd rent. Renting could potentially open up different geographical locations within the metaverse. So if you're like walking, you might not be able to get into like Star Wars land, so to speak, without like a Star Wars NFT. So you'd want to rent one for a cheaper price in order to access that location. The second thing is that you may want to like rent like a Rizzo, let's just say, because you have Todd, Joe Madura, and Becky, because anybody with the first ever drop, is able to go into an exclusive club, as an example. Another thing is you may want to rent that Rizzo because you're going to get airdropped something really expensive, and maybe that owner doesn't really care. I mean, there's just so many possibilities here for renting. Then we talk about gamification, right? Like, what if all of a sudden you have a Marvel Mighty and you rent it out because it's Spider-Man 2099 and it's the strongest one, and if you use it and you beat like 10 people in a day, then maybe you're making a few bucks that day, and you rented it out for like 20 bucks a day. I don't know, right? There's so many things to think about. So again, it's just so far in the future that I think like we're just really early, and we're just all kind of seeing the long-term vision, right? So yeah, so a lot of really nice comments in here. Publishing your min and character your min have unlimited ceilings. Yes, that's very true. I think that it is like a one of one. It is like, that individuality that I was talking about that a lot of OpenSea people have. I'm banking on common comics with original version will moon over secret rare. Yeah, I think you said that, right? That's, I mean, I think there's a case for both of them. Like, we always discuss, some people love the low mints, common covers, because it's something that they're used to. Other people might see it as like, oh, well, no, I already know the common cover, and to me, it maybe looks like a facsimile. I want to get the secret rare because it's totally new cover. I don't know, right? Everyone's going to have their different opinions. For me personally, I would much rather have a secret rare rather than a low mint common, just because I think that there's fewer of them, and therefore it gives me security that that would be sell for more than potentially a common. So I would always choose that, whatever has fewer editions. Just like you have like this, where is it? This 1 in 200 Miles number 1 variant that just came out. It's a 1 in 200. And the reason that I got it is just because I'm like, despite the significance of it, it's still like scarce. There's probably less than 500 of them in the world, and therefore I have a high chance of that still being like valuable over time. That's kind of the way that I see it, but again, other people would disagree. Comics and Cryptos would love to see a video on how the MCP with physicals would look like. I agree, that'd be a great video for them to do. Just to reinforce how early we are, we don't have a large mass community. Imagine when we have 100,000 and then 1 million true people at this. Imagine MCP then, exactly. And Veve's community is massive already, guys. And imagine if we did like another 20, 25x, to there. And relative to all, like I said, all these other NFT projects happening currently, Veve's still doing amazing. Like, I mean, look at this live chat. It's fucking 11:20 on a Thursday night, and I got 121 people in here chatting about Veve. You know what I'm trying to say? In the midst of a bear market, in the midst of the top of the FUD, we're all here chatting. Obviously, there's something going on here, folks, that is bigger than just you and me, right? Boom. Thank you for your payment of $614 in ETH currency. Gems have been added. FYI, $55 fees. Nice. I guess I don't know if Steve just bought. I don't know if that's just like a joke. I'm just sorry, Steve. I'm having a hard time understanding that, but I think what you're saying is that like if you just bought ETH for gems, is that right? I believe the only way to get land is OUP with a certain amount of OMI and a golden ticket. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of smart, because then they would kind of prioritize the people that have been here, that have been collecting, that have been really invested into this space. I think that's a good point. Burning definitely far away, but it's exciting to think about the possibilities. Yeah, burning is like fun, man. It's fun to think about the possibilities, right? Incorrect, Dan K. Veve will have land available without OMI involved, as well as the OMI golden ticket exclusive. Play to earn style of gaming will also create tremendous opportunity for renting. Can you imagine a Star Wars play to earn style game and you need a lightsabers to make money? Yes, and I know that you've already been thinking about that. You guys have done so well with those sabers, and I think the exact same thing. Like, and that seems like such a tangible, digital asset that would be easy to use in kind of a first player augmented reality game or virtual reality game. So I think that's such a good point. Why is Todd black color Batman higher price than blue color Batman? I like this comment. I'll give you all of that right now. The first Todd McFarlane that's the first NFT on the Veve platform. It's the first licensed digital collectible. It's the first appearance of Batman. It's the first DC NFT. It's part of the first ever set. It's the first, what is it? It's the first NFT that was ever minted. I think I said that. So yeah, there's just so many things about it, man. And then the second one is the Blue Todd, and it's still great. It's still an amazing collectible, but it just doesn't have the same historical significance, despite it having lower amount of editions. And I do think it's going to be such a flex in the Veve verse to be like, here's a Todd, because everybody is going to know what it means, right? It was stated in an interview with one of the team when they were asked about the Omi Golden Ticket land. Pretty sure it was Reese. Okay, very cool. So there's actually some, people not speculating. There's a lot more kind of evidence behind that. I've got a few Stanley comic edition numbers, relevant or not so much. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's important because Stanley obviously passed away, so there might be a lot of people that like that. I mean, I think for Stanley's signature, Comics and Crypto can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, for just even a basic comic that with his signature, you're looking at least a $500 premium. So I think that makes sense. I think Veve should implement crafting for their high edition runs. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm bullish on as fuck on the lightsabers. Yeah. Lunch break here. Awesome. Have a good lunch. Yeah, Dan, pretty sure it was Reese and Putin, right? Putin Cheeks, the one that they're explaining the token portal. Nice. Yeah, I just bought some more gems. Move miles rare. Floor to 400. Nice. Uncle the Black and White Batman was the first ever released for sale. Yeah. Hey, NFT Pirates, great to see you streaming. Yo, Sleeping Comics in the house, folks. You probably all know Sleeping Comics here. Great dude. Another big player in the community. Great insight, and just super smart, all around great guy, man. Go give him a follow. Todd McFarlane Batman is the first NFT ever minted on. Yeah, okay. So see, everybody's supporting me. We all get it. Yes. Play to earn Star Wars 1, Harry Potter Mighties would be so incredibly insane. I agree. Todd for president. Yeah, we got the Todd father in here. So, of course, Todd for president. I agree. I own a Todd. I need to own 2. Nice. Did Veve ever pay you to promote them? Never, bro. Never. Veve never. I actually was going to get into that because I think I talked about earlier. A lot of influencers, have left because I told you there's a lot of FUD. They don't get paid for a lot of this stuff, which is totally fine. And then on top of that, like they are losing followers, right? So for me, just something that I love. We don't get paid by Veve. I mean, at least I'm not. Maybe sleeping in my collectibles, comics and crypto, and everybody else in your ears like not telling me something, but I don't get paid. And I'd love. I fucking wish I did. I wish there was an affiliate program. All right, Chad, we're just gonna drop you a little Miles Morales secret rare. Thanks for doing what you're doing. I mean, that'd be unreal, man. Or imagine like just getting dropped a Walt and be like, go promote Walt. I'd love that. But no, I think what their reasoning is there's so many YouTubers on Veve. There's so many people that are interested in this project that, like, let's say they just only gave like a Walt to like 20 people. How do you think that's going to affect the community? Like, what if you're the 21st? You're going to be pissed, right? You're going to be like, oh my God, they all got a Walt. I didn't. Community's going to freak out. Why are you selecting people? So I think that's why they're just being smart and not doing that, as smaller projects generally do pay people to promote them. Yeah. I met Stan Lee, pitched a show to him. He signed a comic book for my son. Wow, that is a cool story, man. You going to the Toronto Veve event? Didn't see you at DCon. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be at Comic-Con in March. I don't know if they're going to be there, if Vive's going to be there, but I'll be there. So, maybe I'll throw out a tweet or something closer to the event. And for anybody that's going to be there, we should like hook up and, go to, I don't know, some kind of sports bar or whatever, meet somewhere. Those Miles comics in the background are looking good. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, I've got so many comics right now. Frig, man. Let me show you guys my stack. It's just like so many. I got like Spider-Man Secret Rare or 2099. There's probably like, I don't know, 60, 70 Miles comics right now that I just bought. I'm gonna give some away too at the end of the stream. All right, so let's go back to my little thing here. Terms of reference. Okay, so terms of reference. One of the big things about that is, just read the terms of reference. I don't want to start to like try to, kind of interpret what the terms of reference says. A lot of people have different interpretations. A lot of it's legal jargon to protect Veve's own ass. But just I would recommend reading that. Like if you're investing into a project that is so close to your chest and you have a lot of money involved, like I would just recommend to see what that all looks like. And and don't be afraid to question it, or don't be afraid to ask other people what that means. I just think that there's it's just important. It's like reading a white paper before you invest in a token. Read the terms of reference and what it means. So I'm just going to say, leave that one at that. I do want to get to these comments. There's still a lot of things I want to discuss, and a lot of the stuff we already talked about. GoChain metadata. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. So we talked about, metadata not particularly lining up from the serial number to when it was minted on the blockchain. GoChain, some people are saying that they're not able to identify it. And so I do think Veve should kind of, comment on that. I think that's an important thing. So I just wanted to leave that there. Physical collecting, we do have some of the experts in here. We got Sleeping Comics, we got Sean from Comics and Crypto. Physical collecting. So this is the coolest thing that I wanted to share on the stream. I have a local comic book dealer that I talk with all the time. His name is Steve from Comic Book Addiction in Whippy, one of the bigger comic book stores in the kind of the greater Toronto area. And this guy said to me, he's not into NFTs, he doesn't appreciate them. And he said, what do you think's going to happen, Chad? He's like, in 10 years time, what do you think's going to happen? He's like, they're probably going to stop printing physical books, which is going to exasperate the importance of these physical books that are in a 9.8 grade, because they're never going to be printed again. He's like, whereas digitally, they can continue to print forever. And he's like, you're always going to have that supply. And he's like, so that's why he thinks that these physical books are worth more than ever before. And so I just thought it was a really interesting point from him, because I do think that he does have he's obviously a smart guy. I do think like the first appearances in those kind of things digitally are going to be worth a shitload as well as NFTs. But I just want to stress that, right? Because like you even see, again, Comics and Crypto's posting about it all the time. They're collecting VHS tapes. They're collecting video games. They just collected a 9.9 grade Legends of Zelda game, right? It's super important right now because this is what's going on. This is the physical world that we've been in for literally all of human evolution is now moving digitally, and a lot of physical stuff is not being made, not being printed, whatever. And now digitally we're here. Right. So while physical shit's going down, digital stuff is starting, and they're kind of doing this and shifting, meaning that there's two massive opportunities to collect the first ever digital stuff, just like you saw in the physical, and at the same time, collect the last of the physical things that people aren't thinking about, like video games, like VHS tapes, like cassettes, like different collectibles. You're literally at this fucking pinnacle point in history where you can capitalize on both these markets. It's a once in a lifetime event. Literally once in a lifetime event. So I don't know. That's my take on it. Yeah. So what was I saying? Let me get back to this. Yeah, physical collecting. Yeah. So that was the biggest thing I wanted to mention for physical collecting is that, I do think that again, I don't think that NFT or physical items such as like a 9.8 graded comic are gonna have the utility that like an NFT would have. But I do think they're still going to matter just because of pure scarcity as well, and the fact that they are subject to physical degradation, as these NFTs have a lifetime permanence. But I do think NFTs are going to be great in the fact, or digital collectibles, the new buzzword, is that you can use them in augmented reality. There's going to be so much more utility. You could probably use them to rent, burn, share with your family. They're mobile. You could bring them on a plane. Like I've said this before. And like if you're in first class on a plane, you could literally pull out your phone and be like, hey, you want to see $100,000 asset in, augmented reality right in front of you. And one day that might be a hologram, right? So, that's the thing. Like NFTs can just continue to expand with their utility as like physical products, won't. But I do think that they're still going to be valuable. So both places are going to have a lot of value. Just picked up a blue Todd mint 2020. Will trade for a real Todd. Nice. Veve is next level. HRO is cool. I agree. A Veve commercial on Disney or Plus after Marvel movie to help Disney Strange Things they're not advertising. Yeah. Imagine watching a friggin' Disney movie, a new one on your home, and you click out of the Disney app and then you go over to the Veve app and you're like, oh, let me buy that. And maybe you get like, a discount because you bought the movie from Disney and then now you're going to get like an NFT as part of it as well. Like there's so many possibilities. I just think it's a long time out, but I think it's, Walt at 3.7K, Miles, you are at 750. Really, I wonder if you're kidding with me or if that's real. That's crazy. I don't know why that floor is moving, but hopefully, I mean, I don't want to be moving floors. Hopefully, it's not me. Hopefully, it's just people who are FOMOing into those things themselves, man. Great work, Chad. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for being here, man. Hopefully, you're getting a lot out of this. Would you consider stacking DC Comics on Palm? I would stack Superman #1. I'd stack that legendary if I had the money, man. Non-financial advice, but to me, it's a big hitter. 150 editions, 140 available to the public. I forget exactly what the highest grade's worth in real life, but it's like over 5 mil. It's a big deal. It's super scarce in real life, super scarce in the digital. But again, like I said, I'm a macro collector. I collect macro things. So like anything that's major, that's what I like to collect. If it's something that, just is like for somebody's fandom or whatever, it just doesn't really appeal to me, but that's just me. If you can stack Veve and Palm Comics, NFA. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd want that Marvel Comics #1 SR, a 15 SR, and I'd want the Superman #1. Those would be some of my favorites. And Sleep in Comics and Comics and Crypto both have kind of like sheets and websites on, what their kind of the rarest stuff is that they think will do the best long term. Sleeping, hey Sleeping, I got that Transformance book that you featured in a recent video. Nice. This is literally a masterclass. Thanks, Corey. Plenty of room for both. Dr. Dre, is there any reason why Veve NFTs will not sell for what CryptoPunks are selling for right now, like 200K? I mean, there's 10,000 CryptoPunks. There's 8 million Veve NFTs. Within Veve, there's those things that we think could be really substantial. Like we talked about the Grails. We think there's a possibility for them to go. But again, you have to be scarce. They have to be popular and they have to have major historical significance. Comics and Crypto talked about a card. I think it was what was it? Some kind of baseball card. Sean, maybe you could put it in the chat so people remember. I forget it now. I apologize. But it was something like Ruth or something like that. Anyways, baseball card in real life was like up to 30 million and they put it on the blockchain, the same one. I think it was a one of one. It sold for like 450K. So, I mean, again, scarcity, popularity, like we could still see some crazy numbers. And so, yeah, that's possible for some things to go to insane heights. But I think it, the interoperability cold storage thing may have to play a component. We'll have to see. Great info, Chad. Glad I was able to make it. Superman #1 CGC 8.0 sold for 5.3 million, and there was one Superman #1 CGC 8.5 Unreal. So yeah, so I'm presuming, Sean, that would sell for at least 6 if the 8.0 sold for 5.3 or at least 5.8 or something. That's crazy. When Disney Plus throws that Buy Disney on Veve banner on the homepage, will be a great day. Inevitability. I love your thinking, man. Veve Palm would be epic. Palm has big connections. I agree. My kid loves Disney and thinks I have all of her favorite characters as fits my phone. Little girls love Ghost Spider, asking about Moon Girl already. Kids are going to influence this app a lot. Hear that. That is a cool comment. Okay. This is what I'm trying to talk about. When we go back to the branding strategy from Veve, Collector at Heart, this person here is saying like, look, my kid loves Disney. They love, Moon Girl. They love Ghost Spider, Gwen, right? And that's a $13 item. That's something cool they can put into augmented reality. They could pull up before bed, and we're just getting started on the utility. So this is my point. The crypto guys are already kind of in here. The people that are already like the choir, the preaching to the choir, they're already here. They want to get new users. They want to appeal to the masses. And so I just think that's a really cool comment. It goes to show you that it's not just people, trying to make a quick buck in here. It's like this is actually having like real utility for families and people that love this. So cool. Solid stream, buddy. Thanks for taking the time to do this, man. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. 1952 Mickey Mantle. Yeah, so that's the card I was talking about earlier, the 1952 Mickey Mantle. 10 graded copies exist, and they estimated to sell for 30 million each. That's insane. Veve is telling us something with that heart. Y'all listening? There we go. That's cool and all, but how do I get rich quick? Well, maybe it's not a get rich quick thing. Maybe it's a get rich long-term thing. That's kind of what Veve is to me, at least. but you could have put $2,000 on Shiba Inu and made 87 million. But for the majority of people, unless you're winning the lottery ticket, generally you get rich by hard work, being methodical in a lot of the decisions, and being consistent. And a lot of not enough people discuss that. A lot of people just kind of they think that they're gonna like 50x on a coin or something like that's gonna happen. But generally, you see a 2 to 3x on a coin, you take your profits, and that's a good win. The OG teaching the class. Love to see it. Yo, Superstar Money, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Go give these guys a follow too, man. Superstar Money, daily content, amazing content, high quality. They got a great following. Big players in the community, man. I think Veve should implement on-age filter and a parental setting so that there are no boundaries and mixing up won't be a problem. That'd be actually good. What do you think there'll be the next big development on the app and when? So I think it's the MCP is probably what's next. And I think that's going to interest a lot of people. And I think it's going to create a lot of more activity, a lot more interest. And people are going to be wanting to get those points and everything like that. So yeah, man, I think that, MCP is kind of where it's at. Lambo drop would be really cool. Long term, if we get Pokemon, they've hinted at it enough. They've made fun of it enough. I just don't think that they would be that unprofessional if they didn't have it in the bag potentially for the long term. But I could be wrong, you know what I mean? Like maybe they're just having fun and they don't have it, but I'm hopeful for some major license. And I am hopeful that we'll have some form of interoperability, whether that be, even limited, for instance, like going through one metaverse to another, for instance, like Veveverse to Disney's metaverse. I think that to me is like my number one wish. And then of course land, if I ever get land, I just think that there's so much ROI on land. You can people working off your land, you can have people coming to the house. I could do this podcast on my land. There's so many things that we could do. So I think that's a big one. I'm stacking Chuckies and Robocops. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want, bro, like again, collect what you love, collector at heart, man. Superstars in the house. Great answer. Thank you, man. What's your MCP play? It's coming off soon. Like I said, I've got gold bricks and I'm not trading it for pennies to get gold bricks. That's just me. I could be wrong. But if I see there's more incentives to do the MCP, I will kind of change my strategy. But, I'm not selling off any gold bricks, man. I've already got the gold, I think people underestimate how fast the masses will pile back into everything during a true future bull run. Good point. We're in a fucking bear market right now. Okay, guys, we're in a pretty bad bear market. Like you said, like let's see the bull run again. Let's see as augmented reality becomes more of a thing. I know that Apple pushed back their glasses. Could be another 2-3 years before we see that. But once we get to another bull, and there's more of a use case, there's more utility, Veve's further down the line, I mean, who knows where we're going to go, right? So it'd be really, really cool. MCP could buy you Comic-Con tickets. That's a utility I would want. Yeah, I agree. What do you think of Jeremy Padawar somewhat questioning what Akomi is doing with the token via exchange? Yeah, so one thing that I've talked about before is I know less about the coin. The tokenomics are always been kind of complex to me. A lot of different varying analysis on what they mean and where we're going to go. But I do think like having a big exchange and those things do matter. But I do think having like utility for the coin and like OUP and all that stuff is going to be critical. But if you want to get some really good people that know a lot about the coin, obviously Randy I think he's got like 150 million OMI, Foster, a lot of those guys have a lot more insight into the coin, in-depth insight too, where I feel like you get a lot of really good answers. You should be paid, man. Pay me, Veve. Put me on the payroll, baby. Let's go. I'd love to work with these guys, man. I almost had Alex come on. I thought it was the fake Alex. I'm still so sad about this, and it was the real Alex. He said too late now, bro, and I'm like, it's okay. Hopefully I'll get him on again soon. So we'll see. But all right, guys. So I'm gonna go back to my sheet here. Where are we at? Okay, so we're 3/4 of the way through. So we're getting there. We're getting there, man. So social capital, that's the next thing I want to talk about. Social capital. Okay, so this is what I always think is that you could be stacking common Spider-Mans, let's say back in the bull market before everything popped off. And like technically you're right in terms of liquidity, you would have been able to get more money out of those Spider-Mans. They would have been easier to sell. And then on top of that, you probably would have had less time. You would have made more money on the long term. But if you bought a secret rare Spider-Man, you might have been harder to sell. but the biggest thing that you probably would have got with the Secret Rare Spider-Man in that bull cycle is the hype and the following and the amount of people that would, want to start a secret club and the amount of connections. So that was kind of my thinking about social capital is, when you go to the top, and you get the best of the best, you're dealing kind of with the best of the best. Like I'll give you an example, like Lewis Morgan, when he came here, he's like, Chad, what do I get? And he's like, I only want to do sub 100 collecting. He's like, I only want the best of the best. I don't give a shit about anything that's not that great. Give me the sub 100s, baby. That's fun for me because again, he's got 200 mil in the bank. He was the co-founder of Gymshark. And for him, that's the level that he's playing at. So if you want to play at the level that the big guys are playing at, you got to move up the ropes. And even if you only get one of those things that the big boys have, you're still in the game, right? And so that's my point is like, if we do see mass adoption, right, and you're at the top of the food pyramid in terms of the NFTs that you have, generally, if like you get some big players in there, they're going to want that same thing that you have. It's the same thing with any NFT project, like that have more rare traits, right? Like I talked about Broadside, a kid called Beast, Bored Apes. The guys that are worth the most are going to go in and buy something that's top of the top, right? Because again, it's going to build that social capital. It's going to make them look badass. So anyways, that's just what I wanted to share there on social capital. And again, in terms of, like that might never happen, right? Like maybe these will never get to those points where all these celebrities are going to come in and, start holding these really kind of exclusive items. But I'm hopeful that they would one day. And that's why I always like to have that. And I think I get a lot more clout for having a few of these things in the community. And I think a lot of people experience the same thing. So in terms of like, selling, maybe you're right that if you're just accumulating a lot more things that are easy to sell, that you would make more money. But in terms of the ROI, that's on the social capital aspect, maybe you want to have those more exclusive pieces. All right. Are these really FA? Okay. So one thing is, man, I want to say is I talk to my wife about this a lot, and she thinks that, first appearances in whatever form, whether it be on the blockchain or in the physical world in real life, that wherever those begin, that's the real FA. So for instance, like Spider-Man in real life in the Amazing Fantasy 15 comic, that's where it was like originally created by Stan Lee. It was it's first printed. It was mass produced. Every other thing subsequent to that is just kind of trying to live up to that first ever thing. Your first ever comic was where it first originated, and then you have your action figures, then you have blockchain now. And so my wife's like, oh well, you'll never get to that point that the in real life one was. And I'm telling her, I'm like, well, maybe that because we're going in a digital revolution, that it's going to be worth potentially the same or even more. And she still thinks that new IP is where it's at, and that's why you have like Bored Apes being new IP, seeing crazy price points. And a lot of people think that. A lot of people think on my end of things as well, being FA on the blockchain, and that holding like really significant weight. I do think it's a big deal, but I just want to kind of stress that nobody really knows which direction it's going to take. It's an evolving process. And a lot of people are in different camps. A lot of people in the physical world will say that it's not that important, but a lot of NFT collectors will say it's exceptionally important. So again, I'm not going to tell you this one way or another. It's a development thing right there. NFT culture is also very heavy in flexing and clout that comes with owning certain pieces. That's a great point, Steve. I totally agree, bro. What's the price for this first what's the price of the first Spider-Man Funko? I don't know. Maybe look it up and send it in this chat, man. Bro, if I am freaking jug of water from Disney sold for 13K, imagine our NFTs. Yeah, so I think Disney or Veve Magic posted that, these jugs of water were selling from Disney for, I think from Splash Mountain for 13 grand, like you said. And there was another guy, a bigger YouTuber recently, that said something like, oh, why would you buy a Walt and Mickey for utility? If the utility is just to get a free Disney pass for the year and you're spending 20K and the Disney pass is only $1,000. I honestly don't think that guy understands collectability. He's a stock guy. He understands stocks. Collectability, I mean, people collect, I said, like the guy I just had on the stream the other day, he has the 125 variant of the Ultimate Fallout 4 #1, and it goes for $42,000 US. What is the utility there? Zero utility. It's the collectability factor, and that's what that guy didn't incorporate into what he was saying. So collectability and having these rare things like a first edition Shadowless Charizard that's 360,000, or a prototype Pikachu that like Logan Paul had before, like all these things, like there's reasons why people buy these things. Scarcity, popularity, collectability, all that stuff plays a component. So I really just wanted to kind of highlight that too, because that guy was going on some serious FUD. Does Veve need to expedite burning of the 60,000 edition comics to get editions down? Yeah, like if Veve wants to burn things, get burning, Veve. Like make all their stuff more valuable. Burn half the supply today. But maybe if they did that, maybe they have a bigger plan. They're gonna get in a lot more users, or they're planning to get in a lot more users, and they want them to have some ability to get these comics too. I don't know. This is another coin. Tusuka has the best tokenomics. Go look at the token allocations. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but there you go, guys. Tusuka. Veve, Basie, collab, blind box of top 5 rarest apes. Crazy. That'd be pretty sick. Okay, guys, getting back to, I think a few things. So I only have 3 things left. I already talked about, are these really FA? Why influencers have left. I talked about that again. No monetization, lots of FUD, and losing followers. Not really a reason to stay around. What's the point? Other than if they really love this stuff. The next thing I want to talk about is the mass adoption and then the money transfer license. And I'll answer some more questions, and then we'll do a giveaway and call it a day. So mass adoption, I think, again, that goes back to the branding. That's really what Veve's golden goose is. If we get mass adoption, we're going to have so many damn people in this app or on the website that, it could be enough where, although interoperability would always be important, that we have just so many people interested in this. And if you think about like the Veveverse, which I think so I didn't even talk about the Veveverse. So damn, I'll have to talk about that a little bit too. So if you think about the Veveverse, everybody's going to be in the Veveverse with the best IP in the world. It's possible that Veve has one of the best metaverses with the best IP, and then that's where people want to hang out because it's most familiar with them. Maybe they're going to be able to get items that aren't crazy expensive like you see on OpenSea. So not only is it going to be an easy place to come, they're going to be able to buy things for cheap, be part of the community, and be able to explore the Veveverse. So I do think there's going to be multiple iterations of the Veveverse, starting more with kind of like a homey feeling, and then maybe long term we kind of get like the ability to kind of see this open world. But I think that's like super in the future. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the Veveverse. I do think it'll be super amazing, and I think scarcity is going to play a big component in the Veveverse. I've said this before, but imagine if you have 60,000 Spider-Mans in the Veveverse and everyone's like, come check out my Spider-Man in my home. It's not going to really stand out as if you have something that's really scarce. People are going to think that it's really interesting and unique. So just that's another thing to think about. And then mass adoption, I think it goes hand in hand with that. So, Veve's got the best IP in the world, the first appearance of this IP in the world. They have all the major licensors. Maybe you'll be exclusive with some. I don't know. Right now, it's not like, there's others that aren't. But, there's only one place to connect Disney NFTs right now. There's only one place to collect Star Wars NFTs. So James Bond, all this stuff, like that's all here. And so, yeah, man, I think it's pretty cool. Can't lie, I worry about mass adoption as people in NBA Top Shots would use the same terms. Just wait till Asia shows up. 5,000 just is nothing when millions are here. I agree, but the only thing is, I would say with that is that NBA Top Shots was almost as if Veve just had one brand. It's almost like if Veve only had Marvel or something like that, or even less than that. Like it's like only if Veve had like, I don't know, Cartoon Network, and it's like, don't worry, everybody's going to come. But like, they like NBA Top Shot was appealing to just literally athletes of a certain category, as Veve's appealing to like the worldwide fandom and lore, like that so many people could relate to. I mean, Spider-Man grossed like 1.8 billion dollars. It was like the top 7 movie of all time. So Spider-Man alone is the 58th most popular superhero in the entire world. So that's what I think about is like Veve, and then we're not even getting to other verticals like music, like sports potentially. I know like the whole NFL thing got dropped, but Lambo is going to be in here. Cars is a whole other thing. So I do think that they have like a much bigger array of things to offer than NBA Top Shots. But I agree that there's still, if they keep dropping, another 20 million, 30, 40 million NFTs, it may be hard to have things really kind of stand out to those great heights. So yeah, and the other thing too is like the tiered audience right now, right? Like we're all like crypto guys for the most part. Some people were physical collectors, but most people have a pretty good understanding of crypto that are here. As like, again, we haven't seen like the masses yet. Like we're not seeing like, all those people, right? Maybe I'm wrong, Rob. I don't know. Does everybody know this? NFL got dropped. This is the news to me. I thought it did. I could be wrong. So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. So maybe somebody can, Rob, maybe somebody smarter than me can put it in the comments, bro. The AR tech is what I look forward to the most with glasses and wearables. I agree with that. You're right to the NBA represents one brand and not everything. Veve has to offer new verticals. Yeah, and then the Veve verse 2, right? Like the NBA, like, and the thing with NBA Top Shots is like you had some moments that were like great, like LeBron James crazy dunk, but then there's some other moments like some no-name basketball player that's not going to be remembered was doing some dunk and like people thought it was significant. It wasn't even like a playoff game. And so that's what I'm trying to say about macro collecting. Like what are the things that like mean the most long term, you know? Don't forget the P word, Pokemon. I'd never forget it, man. Don't you worry. Veve's the best, hands down. The Palm HRO and a couple others. Yeah, I agree. All right, money transfer license. So this is the last thing I will say, and then we'll get into a giveaway. So the money transfer license. I just had some people comment saying, yeah, I can talk about OMI and OUP as well. Like I said before, G-Flow, I'm just like not the guy, man, because Randy and Foster are really like the two guys that know, the coin a lot better. I do think like OUP is, really important. I think like staking and having more ability to actually, get things out of your token is critical to see mass adoption there. But again, I'm not a token expert, and I never wanted to be. So I'd leave OMI and OUP to Randy. But I do think, one thing I've heard a lot from the community is that, man, they needed to do more updates on that last Veve video on those two subjects. I mean, OMI is an essential part of this whole coin, and I think it's got a little people nervous because they're like, hey, what about me? I've got friggin' 50 million OMI locked up for you guys. What's going on with the coin? So I do think that there should be a lot more discussion around that as well. But Foster and Randy have like some really good videos, so I'd suggest checking those out. Yeah, so money transfer license, just the last thing I'll say here. A lot of people told me that they couldn't really cash out. They tried, it failed, or they in their country they like wasn't able to get processed. So I do think hopefully we see some crypto pay in and payout soon, but I'm just flagging that now because some people have expressed that. So all right, let's get into a giveaway. So let me see what I've got here. I'm gonna look at some cool shit that I've got. I think I said to you guys I'm gonna give away a Gwen Stacy 5th edition comic. So let me see here. I've just got to find it. I've got so many damn comics just hanging out everywhere. All right, look at this stack. All right, let me see what I'm gonna give out. All right, Spider. Okay, yeah, there it is. So I'm gonna give out this, man. This is a big comic. So this raw value I think was like $80 Canadian. So near mint. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if it's like gonna be a 9.8 or like I'd probably give it like a low 9, probably like 9.2 to 9.4. Oh shit. Randy, Speak of the Devil is in here. Randy, I was just directing everybody to your channel to learn about OUP OMI. I just did the massive update on everything Veve, but again, man, if you guys want to learn more about OMI, go check out Randy's channel. Okay, so I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna also give away one of these guys, Spider-Man 2009, first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. Let me see what else I want to give away. You know what I'll give away is I actually have, I think, a facsimile of Fantastic Four 52. One sec. I do. Yeah. I'll give away this as well. Facsimile of Fantastic Four 52. And I'll give away one more thing. And I'll give away a Hulk #1 facsimile as well. All right, guys. So that's it. So I got 4 comics. I think that's pretty solid. Should I do 5? Maybe just to round it off. I think 4 is good because I'm just thinking about like all the fucking addresses I'm gonna have to ship to, and that's money, bro. So that's good. So we'll do the Gwen Stacy variant at the end because that's probably gonna be the most significant. All right. So I'm gonna like basically give questions away now in the stream. So I'm gonna give a question. I'm gonna ask you something, and then the first person to pop in the answer that gets it right will get something. And if you've won something already and you get the right answer again, I'm not going to give you two things. So we're going to make sure that like somebody else wins as well. And you know, Corey, I think, and I have been already gifting each other a shitload of things. Corey got me the Batman Who Laughs thing in the back. So Corey knows I'm good for my word about sending these things out. All right, so let's start off. I'll kind of go in order of like worth, if that makes sense. So I'll start off with the two facsimiles. All right. So let me just think of a good question here. That's actually going to be interesting. Okay, first person to name all 4 collectibles in the first set will get the Hulk #1 facsimile. Let's see it, folks. Am I like, I think my thing's delayed because I'm seeing nobody. You guys know the answer to this, right? The first 4 collectibles in the first ever set on Veve. There we go. Steve-O, that's yours, buddy. Hulk #1 facsimile. Oh, wait, let me see. Let me just make sure. Oh, shit. Steve-O, I think I fucked up, bro. Sorry, Steve-O. Here, you know what? I feel bad. It's not Steve-O. It was Digital Verse, I think, got it right first. Yeah, Todd, Joe, Rizzo, and Becky. And for whatever reason, my thing glitched. So Steve-O, because I said your name, I'm gonna give you one too. One sec. I think I got like 5 or 6 of these. All right. All right. So that's Steve-O and Digital Verse. So how I'm gonna do this is, if you guys want to share your Twitter handles with me on private, actually no, this actually I'm trying to think of the easiest way to do this. What's the easiest way to do this, guys, to make sure that like people aren't coming in, man? Okay, let me just write this down. I'm gonna just write this down. So Digital Verse. Just that way I've got it all like locked up. And Steve-O239. And you know, guys, some people will grade these. I don't know, like I said, like I got them when they just came out. So I mean, potentially they look pretty clean. Like there's not much wrong with them. You know what I mean? So maybe you want to grade them. They're still pretty sick. I mean, it's Hulk #1. It's a facsimile, but it's pretty cool. Okay, so sweet. So that's that. Good job, everybody. Everybody got that. That was nice. Oh shit. Yeah, Crypto Kaki's right, man. Shoot. Okay, cool. All right, that was a good one. Good job, everybody. So Steve-O and Digital Verse got Hulk #1. All right, now I've got a Fantastic Four #52 facsimile. Another like sexy comic that we just had on Veve. So let me think of another question. Okay, I'm just trying to think of something pretty sweet. I'm gonna look up some stuff on Veve here just to make it a little more interesting for you guys, because I you know, I don't want to like make them too easy here. You know what I mean? All right, let me check this out. Comics. All right. Don't worry, questions coming, man. I'm trying to make this a little more difficult, not too easy for you guys. Man, there's so many comics on the app, it's just like glitching as I like walk through it. All right, I got it. Let me just double check that this is right. All right. First person to tell me the comic that had the first appearance of Thor will win this facsimile. First person to tell me the first appearance of Thor in comic will win this facsimile. You can just put it in short version, acronym. And I'm going to take a second because the comments are delayed by like 30 seconds. All right. Holy shit, that was like a lot of quick people, man. Okay, let me just make sure. All right, so what's coming up on my screen first, and I hope this is the same for you guys, is Mr. V. Looks like Mr. V got that. Jim 83, baby. Am I right? Are you guys seeing the same thing? Let me just go onto my YouTube to see that like that's 100% is happening. Because I just would hate to I'd hate to like screw that up, man. But that's what I've got. I've got Mr. V that won this facsimile. Congrats, bro. All right, I'm just writing this down. Mr. V. You guys are fast. Okay, yeah. Okay, Mr. V, sweet. All right, next one. All right, this is actually one of my personal favorites. It's like the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099, but it's like not the actual, the scarcest variants or whatever. But it's a pretty sick comic. Just taking a few things off of it here. So this is it here. First appearance of Spider-Man 2099. I believe, Sleepin', can you correct me, bro, if that's not the case? And I'm just like shilling a comic that's not. I don't think it's anything special. Like it's only like a $20 comic. But I just want to make sure that, I'm not like overstepping. So Sleepin', you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Spider-Man 2099. And yeah, no problem. Mr. V, congrats, bro. All right. And I'm going to think about another question here for you guys. And again, they're not going to be super hard, but, a little bit. All right, I've got it. So whoever can tell me in comic book format which comic has the first full appearance of Venom will win Amazing Spider-Man 2099. First full appearance of Venom. It's on Veve. What comic is that? You'll win Spider-Man 2099. Let's see who gets it. Holy shit. Let me see who won here. Is it BioShock? Are you guys seeing BioShock? It looks like BioShock to me. Am I right? Yeah, BioShock won. BioShock, congrats, man. So I'm writing that down. Yeah, just email me after, guys, or like you got my email address on YouTube, or even follow me and DM me on Twitter, and we'll get it sorted. All right. And like I said, I've done lots of these giveaways. I'm good for my word. It might take a little bit of time to get it out to you, but it'll come out to you. All right. All right, last one. This is a pretty big book. Like I said, it's near mint. Spider-Verse. This is what is this? Edge of Spider-Verse, Gwen Stacy, Spider-Woman. I think this is number 2. Yeah. And it's the 5th print. So I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's about like $80 Canadian, I'd say. So it's kind of a cool cover. And so that's kind of the big one. All right, let me look up a sick little question for you guys. Let's get this going. I might make this one a little tougher because it's like, more of a legit, like a pretty intense book. So let me see what I got. Oh, this actually might be hard. It's only going to be like super like keen comic people will get this. All right. So let me just make sure I'm saying this right. First. All right. So in comic book format, to get this Gwen Stacy comic, you got to tell me which comic the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill is in. First appearance of Beta Ray Bill. If you get whoever gets that first wins, man. Beta Ray Bill. First appearance of Beta Ray Bill. Holy shit, you guys are fast. It's got to be exact. I feel bad, man. Some of these guys are like 300th something. Let me see. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, So it looks like BioShock won again, but like I said before, you know, I don't want somebody to win twice. So I do apologize, BioShock. You're just quick with your fingers, bro. The next person after that says Thor 300 something, which I feel like is damn close, but it's still got to be exact, man. And then it's 337, which is close, but I think I'm gonna give it to Victor because it's like Thor 337. We got 337, and then I got 300 something. You know, would this be fair to everybody? Thor 337. Victor gets that. What do you guys think? I think so, right? And guys, there'll be future giveaways, like I said, and I always mark people down that I've given something to. So on like the next one, you know, I'll make sure that I like, you know, wait a sec. The Doctor of Stuff says, "Did Victor beat me?" What did Doctor of Stuff say? On mine. It looks like it. Like it looks like it has Victor and then Doctor of Stuff. So I've got. It's like Bioshock really won, but Bioshock already won the 2099. Then it goes Thor 300 something, and then somebody else said 337, and then Victor was the first one that said Thor 377 or 337, and then Doctor of Stuff was right after, like nanoseconds probably. Victor's like, sign it for me. Doctor Stuff, I'll send you something too, bro. We'll talk. All right. So anyways, guys, listen, thanks so much for coming on this stream. 2 hours, just over 2 hours. I apologize to people that didn't win. Like I said, you know, people that won this time, I'll make sure that, you know, I've got it marked down. So, you know, we'll make sure it's other people next time. But do message me on Twitter or email me. And yeah, and there'll be like lots of future opportunities too, man. Bioshock's like, can I trade? Yeah, Bioshock. I mean, technically you won twice, bro. But you know, like I said, you know, you're already a winner, bro. Thanks for everybody for being here, man. What a great time. You know, super high energy, lots of fun. You know, really hope to do this again soon, and I'll be shipping that stuff out to you guys. And again, never financial advice. I do not represent Veve. Just a genuine guy having a lot of fun with you guys, and yeah, really appreciate you coming on. See you guys again soon. Let's all be collectors at heart, take on this new motto, and yeah, have a great week. And yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. And thank you so much again. All right, guys, thank you. Peace.